Ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing
We're
it.
going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Well,
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
from the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
Name but one Razorback.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's go to the field.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Morning, happy Friday. Let the weekend begin. As far as I'm concerned, the weekend started Tuesday when I took the first of 2 days off. It's just kind of continued. We'll call this work today, but I don't really know if I feel like it's that much work. It's halftime here on ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com. I'm Phil Elson. Good morning, Matt Jones. Looking pretty once again today. You don't have to do this 5 days a week, but somehow you find a way to just look outstanding every morning.
Christian, you see how this relationship starts off? It's only good if it starts off with a lie.
I'm embellishing now.
Remember that. All the best relationships start off with a lie, and so that's why we're able to get along so well.
It isn't even just the lie. I've embellished it a little bit.
I know, I dig it. You got to lean into it. I was thinking to see Maverick all a little bit last night, watching Porzingis come in there and just dominate.
Yeah, and then they got it to 8, and I was like, dude, maybe they're going to come back, and then it just ballooned back.
It takes too much effort to come back to 8 from down, what was it, 30 in the second quarter? Well, they said if it takes you that much effort to get back to 8, you had to at least see the writing on the wall. I had him in the back of my mind, too. I was a little worried about the C unit because, heck, I mean, I saw on your Facebook, C Maverick, when you posted I think you were asking for advice on how to handle the nerves leading up to tip-off. And
yeah.
Was there ever a moment where you were just, like, able to watch the game and you realized, like, in your eyes, you're probably going to watch this for at least another. What do you think, Matt? Is this going to be a 6-game, 7-game series?
Well, the game 2 thing that the Mavericks they'll figure it out. What they did, their game plan was the same exact game plan against the Timberwolves, and this is not the Timberwolves. The Celtics are 4-guard. They're a perimeter-oriented team. Even Porzingis. This is what I see, and we're going to have Aaron Torres on, I believe, in the next segment. I see Brazil being Porzingis in 7 years. Like, that's what he could be if you're talking about translating his game to the next level. Not the superstar, not the one guy, not the 2 guy, but you put him 3, you give him his spots, get him in his moments, letting him float around, being aggressive, learn. Once he matures and learns how to play, I think Brazil could be that's the type of mold that I see him in at the next level.
Now, I know he wasn't playing for a month, but he looked like a guy that at least was practicing his shooting in the last month.
He never turned, Phil, you're so right. He never clicked it up to 3rd gear. They never made him work a lot. He never really struggled. He never really strained. He was out there just kind of doing his thing, getting to his spot, shooting over people. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how hard he actually tried as far as physically on his body. He was moving around at 70%. He wasn't going past anybody or really just like being explosive. He was just letting his length and letting his natural ability take over.
Surprised it was a blowout? I mean, look, it's a 107-89. That game was over in the second quarter. Just once the three-point shooting was too much for Dallas to be able to handle. Every single starter for Boston had multiple made three-pointers. And, man, just in that first half, they were able to hit from every single angle.
And that's what they did with Minnesota is what I mean. They gave Minnesota those threes. If you remember the first and second game, they were like, Minnesota's never shot this many threes, and they couldn't make them. It's a different makeup. So you're going to have to change your game plan. It's not going to work. What you did against Minnesota if you're Dallas, and especially on the offensive side, Phil, they kind of run a lot of ISO ball. They run a real quick set, and then it's get the guy to your ISO ball, come up and get a screen, float, hit those lob. Boston knows what you're doing. You're going to have to change something up and run more of a team offensive concept instead of this just ISO ball. It's not going to work against Boston.
Well, you have to wait till Sunday to get it going again. I guess Mavericks going to be a long feud couple of days for you until that next game, and then you don't even have a show to paper yourself over with, or a job to worry about on Sunday. You just kind of wake up and then wait all day for it. I kind of feel for you a little bit, but then again, your team's in the championship series, so you got a lot to celebrate for the time being. We got super regionals that are starting right now, man. This would have been the day that Arkansas would have started their super had they made it through the Fayetteville Regional. The K-State Virginia game is the last to throw first pitch, 6 o'clock on ESPN2. Should be about a minute or so. UConn and Florida State will start the Tallahassee Super Regional. So that means we'll be talking with noted UConn baseball fan Aaron Torres as that game gets started. He's a college baseball guy for maybe like a week or two out of the year, and then it depends on how long UConn lasts in the tournament. And there they are in the Super against the 8-seed Florida State. Evansville in Tennessee at 2 o'clock. West Virginia, North Carolina at 5, and then K-State in Virginia at 6. I don't know, home teams all win these games, but you never know. You really do. You really never know. And it's a bummer to watch it. It really is. You know, it's gone through like the stages of grief in the last few days, Matt. I don't remember what all of them are, but I know that anger and denial are early stages of grief. And I think I go through some of those things on the air when it starts to become nearly apparent that
you got to speak it out
loud. To come to an end.
Yeah,
when they were getting smoked by TCU 2 years ago, it just was right there, evident in front of you. So I felt like I went through all of those stages of grief literally during those 9 innings. It's taken a little bit more time, especially with a loss before the regional on Sunday. So we recorded our last bases loaded this morning. I'm going to edit that later and get it out later on this afternoon. And I think that hopefully should be the last stage of grief. It's the acceptance aspect of it.
So you're 2 days away from acceptance. Yeah.
And then start watching the Super. Well, I'm actually going to watch this Super as we're doing the show here. I mean, I would like to see how this thing all plays out. And, there's the first pitch of ball, so it is underway. Long day of baseball for the Super Regionals, and we'll have 3 hours of it here on halftime.
C-Unit, are you, when you were watching that game, and now that you've had a little bit of time, are you like, hey, it was a blowout, or would you rather it been a close game and lose by 1 late in the game?
I'd rather it have been a blowout just because I'd be like, man,
because they took the starters
really
out.
could have won that game. But now I just think it was more of a learning experience for what they need to do differently. And game 2 is huge now because
this is your chance. You have to win a game in Boston. You absolutely have to. This has to be the next one.
70% of the time, the team that wins game 1 wins the NBA Finals. Mm-hmm. If you go down 0-2,
my only
gentleman sweep again. I mean, that's how it'll be. They'll give you 1 in Dallas, but that's it's a long year if you don't win the second.
The only thing I'm holding my hat on is against the Clippers, they got blown out in game 1. Against the Thunder, they got blown out in game 1. I know this isn't the Clippers or Thunder, but I hope that
they're going to adjust. Jason Kidd's an all-world defensive player, right? He's going to adjust. They'll make some moves. They'll make some adjustments. They will play better in game 2, no doubt about it. But Jason Tatum is going to play better too.
Yeah,
he didn't play that good, and y'all lost by 18.
I was going to throw that in there after you said they're going to play better. Is that going to make you feel any better, C Maverick? And then you throw in that Tatum's going to play better too. So then I'll ask the question after that question.
You just cannot let Porzingis do what he did again, and I don't think he will. But you can't let him get going because, I mean, once they take him out, they still got a great team, and you just want to make sure that he doesn't get going, and because that'll make it a lot easier for them to run away with it.
Dude, it was instant. It was instant. 21 minutes, 20 points the moment he got on the court.
Didn't
things
stop
opened
him.
up.
Made a 30-footer for 3. The beautiful thing, and it's one of the things I said, one of the last things I said yesterday before the game. The game this game's going to be a perimeter game, and you got 4 guards in Boston that switch everything. They're smart, they're savvy, they're veterans. Nothing gets Jaylen Brown, Derek White, with Tatum as well, and Drew Holiday. I mean, it's just a bad matchup for Dallas.
Well, here's halftime for this Friday as we take you into, again, the weekend for me has already started. So let's just call this a long weekend. We'll have like 3 hours of the golden hour with, there'll be plenty of sports to get to. Arkansas baseball did get their first transfer commit. It is Vahiva Aloy's brother, Kuhio Aloy, who was on
BYU.
the all freshman team at BYU. NCAA now allowing, and this had to happen if you're going to be throwing an extra, $20 to $30 million in expenses for athletic departments. You might not want to put just one logo on the field. There might have to be a series of logos on the field. And, hey, I think sometime over the summer, Matt, there's going to be a sale of the naming rights to Razorback Stadium. The foundation that bought the naming rights to him, the contract is up. I think it's been 20 years, and they can sell the rights. For right now, it is still Reynolds Razorback Stadium. But my guess is by the time Arkansas plays their first home game, which is week 3, against UAB, there very well could be a new name in front of Razorback Stadium. So I do wonder what that's going to be.
Well, it's kind of the European model. When you see the rights like Chevrolet, when they were the rights for Man United for that bow tie across, $500 million is what they paid for a year, and you think about all the TV, because all the markets, they're going to play 60 games and it's all worldwide on ESPN. So the Razorbacks are going to play more of their games. What I'm getting to is more of their games are going to be on not like ESPN Plus. They're going to be more on games where you can go and watch it, and it's free advertising.
Well, I also wonder about, because two of the names that get thrown out with this NBA Finals more than anything else are Chime and Vistaprint, the sponsors on the jerseys for these two teams.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Salesforce has this huge impact just from Caitlin Clark wearing the Indiana Fever jersey. Even before she played a game in their uniform, they got probably multiple times over their money's worth in the investment that they put into that. Are you going to see sponsors on uniforms for college sports? Is it just enough to get a sponsor logo on the field or on the stadium? But what about on the players' jerseys? We're seeing this in Major League Baseball. We're seeing this in the NBA, and sooner or later, I imagine it gets to college sports too. And we're not just talking about the shoe companies.
The guy in Scarface who talks about pigs that don't fly straight, pigs that don't fly right, never underestimate the other guy's greed. That's what you're seeing right now in college. We're never underestimate the other guy's greed. There's a lot of pigs not flying straight right now in the college landscape.
Well, but what they end up having to do, greed can be viewed at one way or the other, however you want to view it, but you still have to feed the greed. And
it's not going to end well. You're watching it kind of, there'll be a couple more blow ups. I mean, there'll be a lot of settling out of court. It's going to be a lot of stuff that's just it's a wicked business.
We'll have a representative from BetSaras in hour number 3 for everything going on Arkansas's favorite sports betting app, which, by the way, I saw odds on some of the early college football games, so you can start getting that in. And we'll talk with James Teague, former Razorback pitcher, member of the Teague Law Firm, in about an hour to put the Razorback baseball season to bed in James's eyes. And in just a moment, we talk with noted UConn baseball fan and college sports expert Aaron Torres on Halftime. So stay with us.
This is Halftime. Do you need free legal advice? Listen to Coffee with Counsel with Kevin Hickey and Brad.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch.
Big old slab.
C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for the NBA Finals and Stanley Cup playoffs this season. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. And when the game's over, head on over to the online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of their over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online. The game starts here.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insights and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Conneray Drive into Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our...
We're on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I guess I think I'd forgotten Aaron is on a vacation of sorts. He's still doing podcasts. I mean, with his schools, with the big story in college basketball about this apparent job offer to Dan Hurley from the Lakers, and Aaron being a UConn alumnus. He's definitely been online talking about those things, a couple of podcasts about it, but I think he's somewhere in Mexico, so I don't know if the phone will work for him right now. Either that or he found a way to get a ticket to the Tallahassee Super Regional, and he's watching the bottom of the first inning right now with UConn. He did pose a question that is, I guess, a little interesting. Everybody's got a conspiracy theory about this or that, which might include this this job offer to Hurley. Some people think that basketball too. I don't think you can separate those two at that school. That's where most of the money is coming in. And I don't know the idea of the situation with his contract, but after spurning any offer from Kentucky or anybody else that might have had an open position, because that's one way to put fear into your board of trustees and your athletics director and the school chancellor and the president of the board and all of that by saying, hey, it's not that another school is coming for me. It's the Lakers that are coming for me. Now pay up.
What I saw was he's cross country. He's Tom Waits going out west right now. He's out there, and they're supposed to be having face-to-face meetings. And I guess they've all done the Skype and all the talking and stuff. And so apparently he's out there on the compound, on campus, so to speak. So I think we'll know something by the end of the day. I mean, by the end of California time. I think we'll know if it's a done deal or not.
Hurley's like as East Coast as it gets too. I mean,
I don't like it for him. I don't think he's good. I just don't. It doesn't make any sense. Like it doesn't. There's no unless they're like, we want you here for 7 years because that's what LA Lakers are. They're known for stability in their head coaches, right? Or unless it's just a money grab, and then when you go back, are you going to go back to UConn? You're going to get to go back to any college you want. I don't look at it. I don't think it's going to be as successful as you got an aging superstar. I mean, is LeBron going to be there another 2 years? I mean, it's going to be a totally different team in 2 years, 16, 18 months. It won't even look like that Lakers team.
This doesn't feel to me at all like a guy who's trying to escape college basketball in the same way that Coach K did, or Roy Williams. Maybe that's not the right word, escape, because they were at the end of their careers and they retired. But the running narrative of, college sports is going to lose all its great coaches because of the craziness that it takes to run these programs, I don't think that's what this is about. I think this is purely about the opportunity, maybe the opportunity and the money that goes along with that opportunity, that specific opportunity to coach one of the more iconic franchises in all of American sports, and the money that goes along with it. UConn can't pay that much. Whatever the Lakers are offering, UConn can't come close to matching. But what they can offer is, I think, more stability, which maybe that's a weird word to use with college sports, Matt, but Dan Hurley's not going any. If he can stay at UConn for as long as he wants and be in a conference that, man, I just would have a tough time understanding a landscape in college sports that doesn't include Big East basketball, that doesn't include not just UConn, but Villanova and Marquette and some of the other, really good schools that are in there that every once in a while come out with a good team, like Providence or Seton Hall. UConn is one of those programs. UConn basketball isn't going to go anywhere. Like in the next iteration of college sports, if it is just a Big Two, man, I would hope that the SEC and the Big Ten and any schools that are involved in it would like to look at the landscape of college sports and say, you know what, something's missing. Something's missing here. The ACC, the SEC, the Big 12, the Pac-12, or what's left of it, have all had great college basketball programs, but you can't tell the story of college basketball even in the last 30, 20, 10 years without the Big East. I don't think the Big East is going anywhere for college basketball. I don't think Hurley's trying to escape the sport of college basketball, because being a head coach in the NBA, that's not a place that comes with any guarantees.
Well, you have I like Gabe Vincent. I like Gerard Vanderbilt a little bit. Cam Reddish. I like Austin Reeves. So if I like Rui Hachimura and Anthony Davis. So there's about 6 players that you kind of like. Gabe Vincent's a role player. Russell's a role player. Reddish is a role player. Reeves can be a starter. Anthony Davis is a starter, and Rui Hachimura, what I'm saying is, it's like Saban going to the Dolphins. I don't know. You're not winning any games with that roster. That has to be changed before you're going to do. So what are you? You're not setting yourself up for success.
Got a text out of the 870 says it's not a downside for Hurley. You reach the coaching pinnacle, and if it doesn't work out, any college still wants him.
Look at when Spurrier went to the Redskins. You look at these coaches when they take off. Billy Donovan had a little success at Oklahoma City, but look who he went to: James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant. He hasn't had that success since. Not even
also
close.
stayed in the NBA. I mean,
it's not that he can't coach, right? It's not that Hurley can't coach in the NBA. He can. He's capable. I just don't think it's a good situation.
Well, so you brought up Spurrier. So he did return. He blew
South
out
Carolina,
the NFL.
yeah.
South Carolina. I mean, they were okay. He never
Best they had been in a while.
He never reached anywhere near the success they had at Florida. Now, the only guy that did is Urban Meyer. I mean, Urban Meyer goes to leaves Florida.
Jacksonville, Ohio State. He's been kind of around a little bit. Yeah,
comes back in
more
Ohio
success
State
in college
and wins a championship there. That's the. That's the thing. It's like there's no guarantee that you're going to end up going back to a major program like a national recruiting program. It's like I would fear leaving a place like UConn, which has a brand that I think resonates through college basketball in a way that a school that has a truly a major football program can't approach. Football is king of the campus. That's understood. It's always been that way. It's not like that at UConn. They have a football team. I don't think they care about it very much. They're still independent, right? So they're not getting a lot of money from it. I think they're paying more of $5 million. They got to have a football team. There's no guarantee that wherever you go next, that basketball is king and that you can recruit to that same level. I guess you can say, hey, I'm the coach who's won a couple of championships, so come play for me. Maybe that works. But I don't know if there's I don't know if there is no downside. It's like if you love UConn and you're making the right kind of money there and you enjoy where you live, why leave it?
Competitors.
Why leave it for something that is uncertain? A lot of money that goes with it. And yes, there is you're right about this too, out of the 870. You can come back and there will be colleges that want you, but there's no guarantee that it's going to be a great situation. So I just don't know. Is there a downside? Maybe there is.
Well, as a competitor, as an alpha, it's in his blood to compete. It's a challenge. That's good. It's just because it's there doesn't mean the grass is greener. Just it doesn't mean it's going to be a great. I mean, if you have aspirations to coach in the NBA, and if he does, I bet you next year, there'll be 8 jobs lined up for him if he wants a job in the NBA. A better job is what I'm saying. Then unless you're going to get to be able to be assistant GM with Rob Pelinka and y'all are going to really, and you're going to kind of do this thing that the Spurs did. We're just going to take the next 2 years off and tank a little bit and try to get some people in the free agent markets and get somebody in the draft because that team's not getting top 8 seed.
877-377-6963 is our McLarty Daniel hotline. If you want to get in with us, we'll take calls, read some texts when we come back after this quick commercial break. It's halftime on a Friday. Glad to be with you, and we'll be right back.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line Now.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free. With zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Dallas Street Dental. Refuse to compromise when it comes to replacing missing teeth. Dr. Bill Ligon at Dallas Street Dental can make your smile look, feel, and function almost exactly the way it did before you lost any teeth. In some cases, even better. Dental implants function like your natural teeth and make it possible for you to enjoy those juicy steaks this grilling season. Look younger and smile with confidence with dental implants from Dallas Street Dental. Schedule your free implant consultation today at 479-452-6600.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and at Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
Hello, this is Mike Giacomo at Arvest Bank, inviting you to join us in the fight against hunger during Arvest's 14th annual Million Meals campaign. All the money goes directly to our communities, and there is no amount too small. Even just $1 provides 5 meals to those in need. Now, through the end of the month, you can easily make a monetary contribution at your nearest Arvest branch. You can also donate online at arvest.com/millionmeals. And if you're an Arvest customer, you can go directly to Arvest Go mobile app. Arvest makes no representation that any contribution is tax deductible. Please consult your tax advisor.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I think I got the timing of Urban Meyer's career off a little bit. He didn't go to the Jaguars after Florida. He went to the Jaguars after Ohio State. So he didn't come back and win a national title. He left because of health, then takes the job at Ohio State, wins a natty there, leaves, doesn't make it through a season with Jacksonville, and I don't think anybody's hiring him these days. Who was it on our text line? Yeah, Brandon in Paris reminds me. Colleges will take you back unless a video comes out with you with a young lady in a bar and your hand in a wrong spot when you're married. Yeah, or you kick your kicker in the butt or something like that, those kinds of things.
You can even be on the back of a motorcycle. They'll take you back.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
That was another one of the big stories of the year. Somebody brought that up yesterday. I'd mentioned Bob Holt. The biggest thing that happened in Arkansas athletics this year didn't happen on the court or the field. It happened with John Calipari being hired Is the second biggest thing that happened in the last athletics calendar the hiring of Bobby Petrino? Because it certainly felt like it.
When none of your teams, which you can technically say that the baseball team made the postseason, they made the very first round, but none of these teams made it close. Omaha's where they're trying to make it to bowl game, NCAA tournament. That is the biggest news, and so hopefully next year that's not the biggest news. What are the headlines going to be next year, Phil, in these sports? What's the biggest news going to be? Coach Pittman signs an extension. Hogs looking for a new coach. Where are we going? How do
That's in the back of everybody's mind for this next football. So
right.
We already got a text about it yesterday. Do you think Coach Pittman will be making it through the whole season? And I'm not here to answer any of those questions right now.
If we go 8-4, it's going to be getting an extension. You go 8-4 and go back to the Citrus Bowl, or who'd we go play Penn State in? Not too long. Didn't we beat Penn State?
Outback. What's that
Outback
one
Bowl,
called now?
same. It's down there in Orlando.
West.
Yeah, but that's
A
a big
Florida
time.
Bowl.
It's a big time bowl right there. You do that, you get an extension. You go 4-8, people are going to start asking questions again.
Well, let's think about some of the moments that happened on the court or on the field that were the big moments. Biggest moment for football was just beating Florida.
That was the biggest
SEC win. Was probably the missed field goal at the end of regulation that gave Arkansas a chance to win in overtime. That's probably the biggest moment of that game that I can think of. What's the biggest basketball moment this last year? That'll make you sit for a while and think for a little bit. Best baseball game I thought was the comeback against Mississippi State on the Sunday, down 6-0. Either that or the best game was the Oregon State game.
I was going to say the game in Arlington, yeah.
Yeah, the Friday in Arlington when Hagan struck out 17 and they won 5-4, comeback style. Holt with the go-ahead triple off the fence. Faraday made the big pitches. Yeah, I think that was, and that's a long time back, man. That feels like 3 seasons ago. But I can't think of, and I didn't plan of looking through the whole season and coming up with the moments that stick out to you, but go ahead and send them in. 877-377-6963. There it is, beating Duke in basketball. So this is what sucks about this. The best moment in football was the one SEC win. The best moment in basketball should never happen in November, and the best moment for baseball should not happen in February.
That's right. Yeah, that's there wasn't a lot to like about last year's basketball season. The football team, the offense was the worst. It was one of the worst offenses that's ever been up there on the Hill, especially in the last 30 years. I mean, it was that bad. So they fired their OC in the middle of the season, and then we went and got Bobby P. So you got to think that things are going to turn around, and because it was so bad, once you're at the bottom, there's only one way to go, right? Up or to China.
Or to Australia. All 3 teams that we talk about here had trouble scoring, too. Basketball had a heck of a trouble scoring. They had trouble defending, too. Football, just like you mentioned. Baseball, it's the lowest scoring team since, I think, the 2016 team. So all 3 teams had issues getting the ball in the end zone, putting the ball in the hoop, or getting guys to home plate. You can be good defensively, but this was the issue for me with the baseball team in the last month. They had to change their identity. They totally had to change their identity from a team that could win games 5-3, 6-4, 6-5. Then they had to turn into a team that had to win games 8-6, and they weren't that kind of team.
Has anybody? We haven't talked about this yet, and it hasn't really necessarily, it affected us in basketball to the degree that it's affected us in football, where we lost our best player in Rocket Sanders and Chris Paul. I don't know, Chris Paul, the kid that went to
linebacker,
to Ole Miss. Baseball, are we worried about anybody jumping in the portal? Are we going to get our guys that are supposed to be Hogs? Are we worried about anybody jumping in?
Nobody's jumped in yet, and I guess I'm trying to look at this from an unbiased perspective. Every team loses players in the portal. Every team does.
But you just can't lose your best players. Right. That's what I mean. Basketball, we lose some, you lose some. I get it. But when your guys, your dudes, is Aloy? I mean, obviously he's not going. We just went and got his brother.
His brother, yeah. But he was good. Wouldn't that be funny? Brother transfers in, older brother transfers out. Just can't stand that guy. No, that's not how it's going to work out. You may end up now with 3 Hawaiian infielders starting for you next year. Because Souza, too. Although I think Nolan may end up playing the outfield. I don't know what position they'll have him slated for because he's athletic to play anywhere. I like him at second base. I like him at third base, but I think he could play left field or center field, too. But you very well could have 2 Aloys and Souza on the infield. here in Arkansas, thousands of miles away from Hawaii, you could have 3/4 of an infield that are Hawaiian kids.
Hey, Hawaii's putting them out. You look at the Tuas that are going out there. Marcus Mariota. You start thinking of the Hawaiians, man. They got some athletes over there. I mean, they go out in the sun all day. You're surfing. You're riding your bike. I mean, you're being a kid. You're being active. Think about it. Just all the athletes Hawaii's putting out. No question about it.
Maybe that's what I need to do sometime this summer.
You don't see fat people in Hawaii. You know, in Arkansas, we live in a place where people like to eat pork chops and buffets and butter and sugar. But you go to Hawaii where they surf and you're eating fruit and you're doing like it's just a whole different type of person you see.
Spam is still very popular in Hawaii.
But if you're going to burn 1,000 calories surfing that morning, you can eat what you want.
Could you just I got to ask Vahiva about this. And I wondered about this with him too, because I just have a sense that it's like we play Jewish geography. Meet another Jewish person somewhere around Arkansas. The feeling is, well, you have to know. There's so few of us. You have to know a bunch of people that I know, right? I almost asked Vahiva this, but I ended up not doing it. Does somebody always tell you that they know this person and that person from Hawaii? Because obviously you have to know that person. Is it the same in Alaska, or is that too big of a state? Or is it the same in Wyoming?
Maybe it's by
there's
islands.
Like 200,000 people, 300,000 people in Wyoming. Everybody's got to know everybody, right?
Maybe if you're on Oahu or if you're on Maui, it's like, what island are you on? Then you got to know everybody. Because they fly, like when you're playing a football over there or basketball, you'll fly to another island.
That's right, on a smaller aircraft. See, what are the other Hawaiian foods I've tried? Because you've been to Maui. We both went to Maui for the exact same reason too. Honeymoons.
10 days, 10 days of bliss.
10 days of bliss, and then how long was the marriage bliss?
Man, I went to Hawaii. I bet I spent 30 plus days in Hawaii. Yeah.
I've been there a couple times.
Yeah.
And it's been, so one of them was a really fun moment was after the wedding. So it was actually 3 months after the wedding. So it's like extending that honeymoon a little bit more. And then the other time was less than a week after Arkansas lost to Oregon State in the 2018 College World Series. This is my parents, my sister, her husband, my 2 kids, my niece and my nephew all went to the Big Island. I had a good time, but I was also told at one point by my father that I looked miserable all the time. Well, Dad, I just saw the college baseball team I broadcast games for choke away a national championship.
Resting B face. Is that what they call it?
They sat there and said to him, "It's like, well, how did you feel last what day was
so
that?
There's
it was a Tuesday, Wednesday. How did you feel last Thursday? Because I didn't feel very good, and I still feel like that."
So there was after the Texas game, after we lost, I admit it, I cried. I shed some tears after the Texas game when I was a senior and we lost. The next Arkansas game that I shed tears for was that Oregon State game. Like I was watching it with my mom. I remember afterwards walking, I started kind of tearing up a little bit because you're like, because it was. I remember just
right there in front.
Well,
of
I
you.
remember talking about it. I said, man, if you gave that scenario right there 100 times in practice, they would complete the play 100. That's how fluky it was. It was like it's a deal, and so it hurt a little bit. So I know anybody who's a part of that Arkansas team, alumni, whatever. That I think that hurt. That was felt statewide.
You remember I brought up the whole idea of stages of grief that I'll go through once the baseball season ends. Look, it's different with a team that doesn't make it to a postseason. Sometimes you've gone through the stages of grief a month into the season. So by the time it's over, you're really just ready to get over with it. I've not felt that way with baseball since the 2016 season when they never made the tournament. So it does take stages of grief. And so I feel like I might be close to being past it right now. So by the time we reconvene on Monday, I'll probably be just fine. 2018, it took a long time. It took a long time. Like, if Hawaii can't make you feel better from that, what's going to work? Nothing.
Drinks with little bitty umbrellas in them. If that's not working, I don't know.
Maybe I just forgot to put the umbrellas in the drink. I had the drink. I just didn't put the umbrella in. That's what it is. Logic always seems to work. Dan in Mount Ida says poi is awful. That is all. And I had poi. Did you try poi?
Is it like a poi bowl where it's the fish and the rice and you eat it with chopsticks? Is that poi? Am I missing it?
I remember a routine that Billy Crystal did where he said he was doing a joke about gymnastics and stuff like that. And he got around to the little pig on parallel bars. Said it looks like poi. I said, what is poi? I said, flush. It looks like flush it down the toilet, is what he said. And that's what people think about it sometimes. Poi is defined in the Encyclopedia Britannica as a starchy Polynesian food paste. Just leave it at that. Once you say food paste, most people might leave it alone. Food paste made from the taro root.
I'm
mostly purple. Are you into eating like a lavenderish purple food paste?
Ate a lot of tuna tacos with avocado and mango and pineapple, or like eat a lot of that red cabbage tuna with a pineapple salsa with some avocado. That's one of the things I remember eating a lot when I was over there. Yeah.
What do you say you and I get together at some point and toss the poi around? Just like sit there, have some poi and spam. There's only that and pineapple, and the thing is pineapple I don't even think are native to Hawaii.
I got my Ryan Sandberg glove, so I'm ready. I'm ready. You get your Andre Dawson or your Sean Dunston glove, and we'll go out there and throw around.
You throw in poi around, you're probably gonna need something to wipe it in first.
Maybe George Bell,
like a diaper.
He seems like he's very poi. Well.
He was a little poi.
That Jerry curl he had, I'll never forget George Bell sitting out there at Wrigley, and he had it. And I'm 8 years old watching. It's like, I know he played for the Sox and the Cubs, but I think he's with the Cubs. And he goes out there and it's just a can of corn fly ball, and he takes his off glove hand and tries to barehand it and drops it. And it was like, you should just hear everybody like, what is going like.
You will never forget the name George Bell from that one.
Yeah, moment. I was like, he didn't come back. I don't think they put him in the outfield the rest of the year.
No, B.E. George Bell is not the Hawk. Andre Dawson was the Hawk. And the two of them, they might have played together a little bit with the Cubs. What do we got on a score here? 5-0 Florida State in the second inning before UConn even has a base hit. Man, it's just prediction. Well, look, I mean, this is a cute Northeastern team, okay? UConn can look, they're the kings of the Big East. They deserved their entry into the NCAA tournament. They proved it by winning a tough regional in Norman, but they're a cute Northeastern team, and man, it's not going to end pretty for them. Evansville is going to go 2-out. Those are going to be two ugly games. It's great for Evansville. It's probably nice for college baseball to be able to point to a team like from that level that gets to the super regionals, but this is going to be ugly. Kansas State, Virginia. I think K-State can make some noise in this one. I was impressed by they got a couple of pitchers, the guys that pitched against Arkansas on the Saturday. Wentworth and Neighbors are their names. Those are good guys, but they might have to split them up. Neighbors has been a reliever. They'll need to start somebody for a third game because they're not going 2-out in that one. And North Carolina, West Virginia, I don't know enough about West Virginia. I just know North Carolina has one of the best players in the game, center fielder Vance Honeycutt, and playing at their ballpark. The last time North Carolina lost a home super regional, it was to a Razorback team that went into the postseason slumping. I just don't think they're going to let it happen against West Virginia. So that's all getting going right about now. 877-377-6963 to get with us on the McClarty Daniel hotline. We are back to wrap up hour number 1 in just a moment.
This is Halftime.
The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Every Friday is Fajita Friday, featuring their charbroiled steak and chicken. It's tender, full of flavor, and comes with all the fixings. Saturdays are for endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce and all the beef, chicken, or cheese enchiladas you can eat. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Looking for a new piece of heavy equipment? Come on over to Sharp Equipment today and explore our latest offers and deals as a Wacker Newson dealer and a Cinnabogan authorized service provider. From excavators with the best-in-class breakout force to powerful skid steers, we'll be sure to find the right equipment for you. Stop in Central Hydraulics and see us at Sharp Equipment, located at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith, or give us a call at 479-242-1406.
Come get you some. 2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come Get You Some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the States. They do it all, from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at cgysoffroad.com. Come get you some.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Superior Siding and Windows have been improving homes in Fort Smith and the River Valley for over 44 years. Whether your need is siding, vinyl windows, doors, gutters, or metal roofing, Superior Siding is the one to call if you want it done right the first time. Call 479-646-7888 for a free estimate. 100% financing is available, and Superior Siding has AAA rating with Better Business Bureau. Superior Siding, your first call, 479-646-7888.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
The Solid Rock has been locally owned for over 46 years. When was the last time you were there? So much more than a bookstore. They have Christian t-shirts, church supplies, Bible studies, devotionals, home decor, gifts, and of course, a large selection of Bibles. And Bibles are engraved free of charge while you wait. Now, you can get custom laser engraving on select gift items and some Bibles. Located next to Sam's Club on South 74th, the Solid Rock is your source for faith-based books, music, clothing, and more. Don't forget to shop for Father's Day at the Solid Rock.
When it's time for breakfast, Calico County is making it all from scratch. Yet the dedicated early morning crew at Calico are cooking up and serving buttermilk pancakes, moist biscuits, rich waffles, country fried potatoes, 3 types of gravy, and of course their famous cinnamon rolls and much more. They serve all of this and a lot more 7 days a week until 11 a.m. Stop in, call ahead, or get it to go. Or just come by and pick up a dozen cinnamon rolls for the office. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, or catering, roll on into Calico County. They're home cooking good. Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue behind Randall Ford.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I've never seen a great color you peach and black, color me taking her back. Got ya.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Brandon in Paris wanted to know if eating King's Hawaiian rolls counts as Hawaiian food.
Only if Eli Manning serves them to you, right?
How does that make it Hawaiian?
He has the commercial right now. He
does? Okay.
Yeah.
It might make you like you're from New Orleans or something.
Well, you know, he what's that other one? He gets around. Yeah.
Those are the best. Actually, those could be the best rolls possible. The King's Hawaiian rolls. You ever try those things grilled for breakfast? They make the best sliders too.
That's what I'm gonna say. Anytime you have barbecue of any kind, you get those. But I could see that, toast that, put a little egg over easy with it. What you're saying, yeah.
A little bit of if you put enough poi and spam on it, then that'll make it make it count as Hawaiian food.
And Nutella, yeah.
Nutella. I never thought Nutella was.
Well,
but
if you're going to put poi on it, you might as well put Nutella with it.
The only place you'll ever find spam at a McDonald's is in Hawaii. You saw they had spam and rice in the morning for breakfast. I'm thinking that's an interesting looking Happy Meal in the morning. They don't sell poi, though, because nobody's eating purple goop at a fast food restaurant, right? Maybe not. Yeah, but the whole idea, too, like eating a slice of bread from a Jewish rye doesn't make you Jewish either. So, and it's not necessarily Jewish food. It's just got a word that's thrown in the middle of on the front of it. And I'm not exactly sure why. I don't have any Jewish rye here at the house. I just got wheat bread. I don't know if that says anything about me one way or the other. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on the McLarty Daniel hotline. Scott texted in. He tried to watch the Supers, and he can't do it. He can't do it.
It's tough. It's tough to. I can't do it either.
I feel for you, Scott. I really do. I'm intermittently taking a look over at the game because I'm hosting this award-winning radio program right now instead. But I have a little trouble watching it as well. And really, where it'll be the most painful is if I take the risk of putting the K-State Virginia game on.
Who are you going for in that game? Or does it hurt more if don't you want Kansas State just to be out? Just like, I don't even want to see your stupid face.
There's those two ways of looking at it. It's like, how did you lose to them when you had the lead? You shouldn't have lost to them. Or does K-State making a run to Omaha, like legitimize things a little bit more? And I don't know if it works either way. So you can look at like TCU going to the College World Series last year and say, well, Arkansas just ran into a buzzsaw, so that's fine. But they lost to TCU twice last year. It was just one loss to Kansas State. The one,
we got beat by SEMO too. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, you have a tough time accepting the loss to K-State because it was Hagen Smith pitching with a 2-0 lead. I have much more of a difficult time accepting a loss to Southeast Missouri in a regional game, no matter what had happened the time before. So, yeah, that's the one that hurt the most. But I don't know. If I have a rooting interest, like I would feel weird having a rooting interest in a Kansas State versus Virginia game of any sort.
Let's go Cavs. Let's go Cavs. Let's get your stupid face out of here, K-State, and we'll see you on. If y'all beat us, I don't want them winning. Like y'all go home too.
No stupid faces in Omaha.
Yeah,
right?
I don't want to see them happy. Like, come on.
That's right. No more purple. Get the purple out. Evansville's going out. K-State, no purple. Okay, perfectly okay with that. I'm perfectly okay going into hour number 2 of halftime. We'll be talking with James Teague from the Teague Law Firm in about 20 minutes. Calls and texts coming in on the McLarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. We'll be right back after this.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westart Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westart Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Have you tried the TGI Friday weekday deals? On Monday, they have 50-cent wings, traditional or boneless, 10-piece minimum. Tuesday, cheeseburgers and fries with a fountain drink for $10. On Wednesday, Cajun shrimp and chicken pasta for only $12. On Thursday, enjoy a half a rack of ribs for only $12. Stop by and check out the weekday deals at TGI Fridays, I-540 at Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. In here, it's always Friday.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon into the upper 80s. We'll see an increase in the cloud cover tonight. Slight chance of showers and storms across the north. Overnight lows in the mid 60s. Slight chance of showers and storms across the north on Saturday. Otherwise, partly to mostly sunny. Highs upper 80s to low 90s. I'm Sally Russell with the forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 83 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. If I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moth at halftime.
Even one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
12:01 on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, C. Maverick, who's picking up the pieces from last night's Mavericks blowout loss to Boston, but don't worry, there's another few games to go. And we got another 2 hours to go on halftime. And we'll be talking with James Teague from the Teague Law Firm, former Arkansas pitcher, in about 15 minutes or so. And it's still 5-0 Florida State over UConn. UConn still doesn't have a base hit, so tough start for the Huskies. I wonder, like, they're UConn fans. I mean, they've got even a UConn fan that doesn't give a rat's butt about baseball has got to be watching this. I mean, it's their team. It's a Friday morning or a Friday afternoon. Why not watch? But I think their eyes more than anything are on the Dan Hurley situation and hoping beyond hope that they keep their coach. And Matt, it's not just a matter of keeping the coach, it's keeping the team intact too.
Yeah, and if you're the AD of UConn, I mean, you got to think there's some type of relationship. It's probably a pretty good relationship. What are you saying to Dan? Are you like, yeah, go if that's what you want to do, go listen, or are you like, hey, we want you here? Why, what's it going to take to get you here? Like, what does it take to get you here we're committed to you for another 7 years. Or do you have to go sell your own? I mean, I wonder what type of conversation they have.
Right. And it also, I mean, in a moment like this where if it's about contract, if it's about money, it's not just the athletics director, it's the chancellor, it's the president of the board of trustees, it's all of that. So yeah, I'm imagining you got to get this thing kind of cleaned up within the next couple of days from both sides.
Do you think their AD did a transit bus video that said, "I wonder who's getting on this bus next"?
Not doing any podcasts 3 time zones away either.
You'll have to ask him.
You would have to ask him. We got a couple of people we can ask something about, but they might have something they want to ask us about. It's an open segment. McClarty Daniel hotline is open, 877-377-6963. And first up is Brian in Ozark. Hey, Brian, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. Yourself?
I'm all right. It was better than yesterday. Thank you.
Well, that's cool. I'm glad to hear that. I just wanted to let you know you were talking about Arkansas lost twice to TCU last year.
Oh, yeah, there was the game in February, too.
Yeah, they actually lost 3 times by a combined score of 50-15 over those 3 games. But that's last year. Hey, but my question is about this year. I mean, I know that Arkansas is hyped up about Bobby Petrino, and they should be. But I guess my questions are, you know, I know that when Jimbo Fisher got fired from A&M, he wasn't ever considered as a head coach for that position. I mean, they just didn't look at him at all. I'm kind of curious about why, if he's so good, why they didn't look at him. And my other question would be, you know, since he's been out of the SEC, I'm pretty sure that every school has changed coaches. I mean, I could be wrong on that. But in my opinion, I think the coaching staffs are a lot better and probably more difficult to play against than they were back then. I was hanging up, and if you could, just let me know if there's any coaches that are still around, and I was hanging up and see what you say.
I don't think there is. I guess Saban was the last one, right? No, Stoops. Stoops is still around from then. But he'd be the one. He'd be the one. Because what is he on? 13th year, 14th year? So he'd be the one. I never thought that Petrino was going to be the guy that takes over if they fired Jimbo Fisher. Certainly not in the first year. I would think that's a reason why. It's not like you had some massive amount of success with Fisher as the head coach, and he was only the offensive coordinator there for a season. So it just, I think in our mind sometimes it just makes too much sense that a former head coach who's an offensive coordinator would therefore maybe be the next head coach. But they didn't have enough success last year for it to matter at all. That's why if you were to talk, Matt, and I don't know who the assistants are for UConn, but if they're trying, like if Hurley leaves and they want to keep that team together, the only answer is to bring in one of the assistant coaches. You know, but I don't think that was ever really an option with Bobby Petrino at Texas A&M. I don't even know if he would have viewed that as an option.
Well, yeah, I don't think it was. I think they were changing of the guard. They were cleaning house out there in A&M. And when you go out and get a new head coach, did you see the amount of money that he got for his assistants? Was it 11.2 or something? Like they're letting him bring in his stuff. I mean, that's just how it's done.
Comparatively to like the rest of the coaches in the SEC, as far as the other aspect that Brian asked about. I don't know. I mean, did he forget what he's doing? Part of this to me that I believe why Petrino is a good hire for Arkansas, or I think maybe anybody
Hugh Freeze was at Ole Miss. He's at Auburn now, so he was here. Well,
it's that he's shown he can operate. He doesn't just have a Bobby Petrino offense. I think he's a guy who's good at getting the right guy the ball at the right time in the right situation with some free space, and I think he's done that with multiple styles of quarterbacks, different styles of offense, and I just don't expect that changes very much. To me, it's also the personnel that he's working with, and what is it that you can do with that personnel. But to me, it feels like he's a step up from Dan Enos. And then again, a year ago, I thought Enos might have been the right hire for the team, and I turned out to be completely wrong.
You got Armstrong on the outside. I like Armstrong. You got an All-American tight end. Didn't he have DJ Williams? Wasn't that one of the tight ends Petrino had? Then they were throwing it to him. I mean, he was putting up numbers. You're right. He's going to be able to find mismatches and get guys the ball in space. And we have some talent. The other thing we have to do, and I mean, you got to be able to pass the ball when everybody in the stadium knows it's a passing down and you're passing the ball. You still got to be able to pass the ball. But we got to run the ball. I mean, I know it's cliche or say what you want, but if you can't run the ball any better than we did last year, we're not going to win 6 games. That's first and foremost. You're going to have to be more physical up front, and you're going to have to. What do we have after those first couple non-conference games? Did we have a 100-yard rusher in any one single SEC game? You know, I know the kid that transferred to Tulsa, the speed kid that we had. He had a 100-yard. He had a Green, he had 100 yards.
Up at OK State. First it was Tulsa, then OK State.
Okay, so we're gonna play. We're gonna get to see him again. Nice, but we're gonna have. You got to have some 100-yard rushing games. You got to be able to run the ball. But what I'm saying is Armstrong. That's a matchup. I like him. He's been through it. You got an All-American tight end. If you can run the ball, you got your quarterback you like. I mean, we have some nice pieces to the puzzle. You can start seeing it come together a little bit.
Charlie is next up with us on the McClarty Daniel Hotline. Hi, Charlie. Good to hear from you today. How are you?
I'm great, Phil. I'm going to spark this thing up a little bit. Can you guys hear me
what
well?
are you doing in this car right now? Do you need the windows up? What's going on?
No, man. Ain't nothing like that going on. Do you think I work in a healthcare clinic, Phil? Do you actually think they let me walk through that door?
I'm just saying. I mean, you say you're sparking something up, and I know you call from a car. I don't know what you're doing, Charlie.
I'm bringing the energy up because I feel like sometimes when Brian calls in, no offense, he just kind of, I know he asked some questions, but it feels like he kind of tries to get some sort of response, or maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm
leave a
beefing
pregnant
with him,
pause.
Phil.
He's good at leaving a pregnant pause, but there have been some moments where I thought a caller was drunk. It's not what you got going on right now, but you got me thinking something.
Nah,
else.
ain't no drinking going on over here for the tuna. He is drinking an energy drink though. It's really good.
Okay,
But
so that's
I will
what you
say
sparked
this.
up. Very good.
Yeah, yeah. I will say this. You hit on something right there, Phil, that I was thinking about when he said the thing about Petrino. It's like when Petrino was here the first time and we had Mallet or whatever, we were more of a pro-style offense. We had fullbacks. Look what he did with Lamar. They were a spread offense. They used Lamar's strengths. Matt, I want to ask you this. I know you don't like this stat because you were a quarterback. I bet we still struggled running the football last year, but I wonder how many rushing yards we lost just by getting sacked. So I know it wasn't very good. You're right. We got to be much better up front, and we just have to be. We got to be able to run the football, and Bobby believes in that. He's always believed in being physical and running the football, especially if teams are too high and they're giving you the numbers in the box. You got to get good positive yards. C-Unit, listen, it's one game. Listen, I never changed my opinion off one game. Still got the Mavs in 6. I will say this, Phil. I know you had which you well deserved, by the way. You got you a couple of days off there, and I don't know what you did. I hope you had a good time. But yesterday I was so tired. The tuna died last night about 6:30 p.m. and he resurrected at 12 a.m. So I didn't get to see the game, but I came back to life at about 12 a.m. and I went and looked at the box score. Matt, how were they guarding Lucas pick and roll? And what is something, I think, Boston's a heavy switch team, so I think that's something they got to adjust to. Also, I think they got to look at maybe trying to get Kyrie going earlier in the game, and that is another thing. They're not. This series is far from over. I just want to say that right now, far from over. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I still got Dallas in 6. Anyways, y'all have a good one.
Okay, Charlie, thank you, man. That was 3 minutes of action-packed stuff going on there. And I guess I just have to call him Lazarus from now on because he died and came back to life and called us. But what do you think about what he asked about the NBA Finals?
Well, Boston big boyed them. I mean, they were the more physical team. Those guards were physical. With Luka's still good and still does his thing. Kyrie missed open shots. It's not Kyrie will play better. There was a handful of open shots he missed. The length of Kristoff, that's the key right there. I mean, Al Horford, you're being able to give somebody some minutes. Those two guys right there. But yeah, it's White, it's Holiday, it's Brown. I mean, Brown picked Luka's pocket twice in the first quarter, second quarter, just dribbling up the ball one-on-one. Just picked him and got a dunk. So they were kind of messing with him and doing some things. And the thing that I noticed is Dallas didn't try anything different than they tried against Minnesota. They're going to have to reinvent themselves, and sometimes that's what it takes. They went in with a game plan. They got punched in the mouth. Jason Kidd, a Hall of Famer, defensive guy. Jason Kidd's as smart as any of them when it comes. He'll make a couple adjustments. It's really Jason Kidd versus Brad Stevens when you think about it. When you're looking at the matchups, Brad Stevens, the wizard. He's the Pat Riley. He's pulling the strings.
Brent is next on the McClarty Daniel Hotline. Hey, Brent, what have you sparked up? What's new?
Oh, everything with me is new today, Phil. I want to touch on 3 subjects if I can.
Okay.
First, Phil, can you tell me a little bit about, see where Bahiva Loy's brother is joining the Razorback baseball team? Can you tell me a little bit about him, please, sir?
He's a freshman. He plays infield or DH, right-handed hitter, coming in after being a Big 12 all-freshman. He's got some power. That's what I know for now, Brent, but this happened about an hour ago, and I've been hosting the show, so I haven't dug too much into it.
Okay, and now to my second point about, this basketball game with the Celtics and the Mavericks. The Celtics, I still believe the Mavericks will win the series, probably in 7 games. The Celtics got to prove they can put 2 back-to-back games together. I mean, they lost by 20-something to Miami in the first round of the playoffs in the second game, I believe, if I'm correct on that. Aren't I, Matt?
Yeah, they've lost. That was their thing. They would lose game 2 because they didn't try. They just kind of were going through the motions, and I think you saw Boston trying. I mean, they were blocking shots at the rim. They weren't letting them get the Lob City going on. I mean, Boston was in control. I mean, the game was 16-16. It was pretty tight early in the first 5-6 minutes, and then Boston took control. And other than a run for about 5 minutes in the third quarter that the Mavs made, that was it. That Boston controlled the entire game.
A third about the football team, about Razorback football coming up. We have got to be able to run the ball this year. What we did last year, trying to run the ball, was a business. And anything we do is better than how we ran it last year. We just need to running the ball opens up the passing game, and I think we've got the running back to do it this year with the transfer from Utah. He's a stud. And what do y'all think about that?
Sounds about right to me. I mean, I like Jaquindon Jackson is the Utah running back that he mentioned that they brought in. He's a guy that looks like he's handled it well before, and tough, and run between the tackles, and a little slippery.
He remember Ronnie Brown from Auburn?
Sure.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of that type of back. He's going to be red zone and he can catch the ball. You get him in short yardage. He's a guy that fall forwards, runs tough. I've seen him play a couple of those. I had him on. Yeah, I've seen him play a couple games at Utah. He's going to be all right. But our running back's by committee. Is Augustus still there? Did he leave?
I think he went into the portal.
Man, Augustus.
I don't remember where it was that he signed with, but I don't think he's around any longer.
Well, then we must have some good running backs if he left. Because if they're better than him, then we're going to be okay.
I know they like the kid who's coming in from Parkview, Braylon Russell.
Yeah.
A big, strong running back.
Freshman kid, yeah.
I know they like him. So, hey, there's a lot to get reacclimated with as far as the football roster is concerned. I'm thinking about all the changes that went on through the roster in December, and then again in the spring portal period, and it was wild. So, yeah, we're going to need these 2 months to learn about this next iteration of Arkansas football. Hey, thanks to our friends at Clampett's Country Kitchen and Meat Market. We saw Joey last Thursday at our ESPN Arkansas studios. He brought us all kinds of great food. Man, I can still taste the pulled pork that Joey brought in. This is over in Hot Springs Village, Highway 7 North. Barbecue served 10 till 6, Monday through Saturday. Got plate lunch specials, 10 till 2 daily, and over 30 flavors of jerky and 20 flavors of snack sticks. That's what I was eating all weekend during the Fayetteville Regional, because there wasn't much time to eat a lot of regular meals.
They had that summer sausage. I had one of those. Oh, my goodness.
They hand-cut their steaks. Everything is done on site at Clampett's Country Kitchen. Steaks are fresh cut. Grinds are house-made each day from stockyard beef using upper two-thirds choice and prime. They can also they can make your snack sticks or your jerky to your specification of spice, as hot as you want it or as mild as you want it. It's Clampett's Country Kitchen, Highway 7 North in Hot Springs Village. Just go online, clampettscountrykitchen.com. All right, we're talking with James Teague from the Teague Law Firm right after this on Halftime.
This is Halftime.
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and...
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McCarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McCarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McCarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for the NBA Finals and Stanley Cup playoffs this season. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. And when the game's over, head on over to the online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of their over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline. The game starts here.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insights and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot.
It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill.
So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Conneray Drive in Queen, Arkansas.
Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video.
Remember Rio and get down. Some other DJ in some other town has been trying to tell me to hold tight, but I've been waiting this whole night. But I've been down across the road or two. But now I found the velvet sun that shines on me.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All guests join us on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, and we have James Teague here today from the Teague Law Firm and former Arkansas pitcher. And James, I wish we were previewing a super regional right now, but we're not. We're not previewing a super regional, and it kind of sucks. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think it kind of feels a little bit like a waste. You know, it's like there was so much promise, so much talent, and now just to be watching all these other teams that, frankly, you kind of feel better than, you know, pursuing their season. It's pretty disheartening.
So there are some people that say they saw it coming, what happened in the Fayetteville Regional. Some say they did not. What did you think when you look back at the results from this last weekend?
Well, I think throughout the course of the season, it was kind of one or the other. Either we were somewhat on borrowed time, you know, pulling out all of those close games, or you know, we just maybe weren't quite as good as the record showed. I think that we had some weaknesses. Look, if the pitching dominated as it did, you know, in the regional, we would have been fine. But, you know, to continue that kind of streak of pitching and to give up that little of runs, it's just not really sustainable. So I think there's a degree that, yeah, maybe you could imagine in a situation where, yeah, if we don't shut everybody out, you know, we're going to lose games. But you know, you got to do the basic things right to win, and I think that's what it comes down to. I don't think we did the basic things right to get it done.
What does that kind of describe a little bit of the 2014 season, which was your first year at Arkansas? You know, a pitching staff that kind of carried the team through. I know the equipment was a little bit different, so that had something to do with it. But and I don't think this was as offensively challenged of a team as maybe that one was, but. Can you compare those two seasons this year to 2014 a little bit?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good comparisons there. And, you know, obviously you hope to match it up when you've got a great staff and you can get the great offensive production. You know, I think we had some of the tools really to be more effective offensively. I think the thing that's frustrating for fans is, you know, not moving guys over or, you know, less than 2 outs, second and third, not having maybe more of a sacrificial at bat to get that runner in. You know, I think maybe this team, you know, had the talent. I think we were just a little bit shorter staffed on talent in 14, but I think that's kind of where the frustration sets in of, you know, having the tools to do it, but just not finding ways to do it.
Look, so you're a pitcher. I'm not gonna ask what does the offense do or what do the coaches need to do in order to generate a little more offense like we're used to seeing. From your vantage point as a pitcher, what did you think about what it took to pitch to this year's Arkansas lineup?
Well, DVH, he had a press conference, and he made some really good points where he talked about, you know, not necessarily having the staff to be more of an aggressive, more let's run, let's create offense. It was more of a we need guys who are going to hit home runs and hit doubles. I think he wants to maybe be a little bit more of that offense, but felt like maybe he couldn't because he didn't maybe have the players or have the athletes that he wanted. You know, for me, if I'm facing a lineup that is not going to run as much, that is not going to change the approach as much with 2 strikes, it's a little bit easier because I know, look, I'm going to get these guys out, or maybe I'm going to give a few long balls, but I don't have the pressure of runners. I don't have the hit and run. I don't have all the bunting. I don't have all of that. So if you're getting outs and the game is flowing, then as a pitcher you feel great because all you got to just focus on the hitter and move from there. I think it's, you know, some of the West Coast offenses or some of the teams that we played against that would run and be a little bit more dynamic. That puts a lot of pressure on a pitcher. I think from an approach standpoint, the question for me would be, what is our approach with 2 outs or what is our approach with 2 strikes? And it's not a knock on Thompson. It's not a knock on anybody individually, but are there, you know, I think it's a fair question to ask and a question to think, is there changes that we can make to create more offense and not rely so much on the home run and balls in the gap to be a little bit more dynamic? I think that's a fair question to ask.
You know, James, I think throughout most of the season there was an incredible amount of pressure on the pitching staff to keep the score low. And then things started to change. Really, the last 17 games of the season, starting pitchers allowed 34 runs in 38 innings. that's a horrendous ERA. That's even with as well as Hagen Smith was pitching. That's counting Hagen Smith's numbers in those last 17 games. And so what that did is it flipped the pressure. It flipped the pressure to the hitters. And I don't think they necessarily felt that pressure until pitching started to shake a little bit, because really all they needed was 5 or 6 runs to win a game. The last 17 games, James, they needed 7 or 8 or 9 runs to win a game. And I just don't think they were a team that was built for that. And it's, look, you try to change an approach of how you win games 2/3 of the way through the season. It proved to be a little bit too late.
Yeah, no, I think it's more fundamental to, the approach from start to finish to say, here's how we're going to produce runs independent from whatever the pitchers are doing. Now, from the pitching staff, it looked to me like our guys just got a little tired. I mean, Hagen looked a little bit tired to me. I think Tigert was obviously tired. I think maybe it's dead arm or whatever he had going on. Molina kind of dwindled a little bit, some of the bullpen arms. I think our guys just got a little tired. So I think fundamentally the question would be, how do we get our guys pitching the best at the end of the season? Is it conditioning? Is it something that we do, through a program or in the off season, or what is it? But I don't know. I mean, you've seen teams where, guys get injured, the season goes on, or they get better, they get worse. But the teams who make runs, their starting pitching is as good or better at the end of the year than it is any other time. And I don't know. I mean, maybe it's kind of outside looking in, but the starters just look tired to me is the best way I can describe it.
Well, and that's the crazy aspect about it, too, because one of the narratives throughout the season was Hagen Smith going 6 innings instead of 7 in March, in April, when it still looked like he had gas in the tank to go 7 innings. And Dave would say, well, we're saving that inning for June. And they had it all working out perfectly to give Hagen the ball on a Saturday in the 1-0 game in a regional. And you're right. Like, you could see it. There was a dip in velocity. I think there was a dip in Hoover. Not as big as the scoreboard showed, but there was a dip, enough that I noticed. And you noticed it in the 5th inning. So it's like the plan that they had, it was right there in front of them. It worked out the right way that they wanted it to, and then until it didn't, when Hagen just kind of, I don't think it erases what he did this year. The crazy thing, James, this is wild. His first inning of the year gave up 3 runs. His last inning of the year gave up 6. He gave up 22 runs for the entire season, 9 of them in 2 innings. That means he gave up 13 runs in the remaining 82 innings for the year. That 5th inning doesn't erase what was truly, I think, an historic season in Razorback history. It's just, it sucks that that's the last inning he's going to pitch at Arkansas.
Yeah, it is a sour finish. I'm with you. It doesn't erase it at all, because, I mean, to go out and pitch at that level and to get, strikeouts, that many shutouts, that many innings where you dominate, I mean, that takes a special type of player to be able to do that. And I don't even think it's a deal where he was stretched too far or he threw too many pitches or anything like that. It could be something as simple as conditioning or as, diet or off season or anything. And I'm not even putting a blame or on any specific person or specific thing, but I think 2 questions for me leaving the season are, how do we get our staff to be well conditioned to where at the end of the year they're not tired? And how do we produce a little bit more, and how do we make our offense a little bit more dynamic so we don't rely so much on the long ball? I think if we got 20% better in those 2 categories, it would make a world of difference.
So what now, you obviously are working, I mean, it's the summer, the baseball season's over, and athletics are over for college sports for the most part, but the law never stops, James. So what's going on with the law right now?
It never stops. That's right. So we're at a new building. Our building got taken out by the tornado. The files are good. Everyone's fine. But we got a new building. We're really excited about it. We were actually set to move in August. So we just got in a little bit early. It's at the Chambers Bank building right there off exit 83. So we got a bunch of new space, all new office, new furniture, new everything. So we're really excited about the move and excited to bring people in there and help people, in that new space. But you're right. Whether it's in that office or another, the law never stops. And whether it's custody, whether it's child support, criminal matters, really anything, I think, we're going to be the same Swiss Army knife that we've always been. And so we're excited to continue serving our clients no matter where we are.
Always appreciate talking with you, James, whether it's on the air, off the air, about baseball or law. Thanks for doing it again this year, and hopefully we'll have you on next baseball season.
Yeah, Phil, I really appreciate it and appreciate you giving me the time to, kind of speak and give my 2 cents. I really enjoyed it, and hopefully next year we'll make a run at it.
That's James Teague from the Teague Law Firm, been around nearly 30 years. The best of Northwest Arkansas. James and the Teague Law Firm help with all family law matters, criminal law matters. They'll help with the state needs, anything going on with the law. And at the Teague Law Firm, you talk to actual lawyers. They will call you back. You get James's cell phone number, 479-877-1688, 479-877-1688, or online at teague-law.com. Stay with Halftime. We're right back after this.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Summer camp, vacation, travel baseball, repeat. Family reunion, lake time, I'm beat. A parent in the summertime is a glorified chauffeur, but if you find yourself in a fender bender, you'll need a good lawyer. I'm Jackie Mock. With 12 years of experience in insurance and car wreck cases, I can help get you back on the road for more summer fun. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Now we will share a lifetime of the fondest memories.
At Red River Dodge, not only do we have new vehicles, but we also have top quality pre-owned, all the way from your big rig trucks to your luxury class SUVs. Are you needing to trade in a used vehicle? That's no problem. Here at Red River Dodge, we give top dollar for your trade-in. Whatever it is you're needing, here at Red River Dodge, we have it. Give us a call today at 501-362-5831 or visit us on the web at redriverdodge.com. And don't forget, folks, we deliver.
This is Halftime.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
At Arvest Bank, we believe in the power of community. That's why we recognize, serve, and support communities of all kinds. From small towns to big cities, business startups to large companies, young families to seniors, and those with shared backgrounds and interests. We value your contributions and are proud to work alongside you because every community deserves a financial partner who cares. Arvest Bank. We believe.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Celebrate freedom in a new RV from Camping World in Van Buren, Arkansas. For a limited time, get into a new RV starting at just $104 per month and see America for less. As part of America's #1 RV network, we've got an RV for every lifestyle and a payment for every budget. Buy with confidence at Camping World, knowing every RV comes with a 3-year Good Sam Elite membership and access to our nationwide service network. Make sure your next summer adventure is the best one yet. Click, call, or visit Camping World in Van Buren today. Certain restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Your home is your biggest asset. So when you decide to add a sunroom, a patio cover, a new driveway, or new windows, you need to call a company you can trust. Sawyers has been part of your community for over 30 years. They're insured, licensed, and have 100% financing for all of their products. Take all the worry out of your next project. Call Sawyers and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyers, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith or online at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Every Friday is Fajita Friday, featuring their charbroiled steak and chicken. It's tender, full of flavor, and comes with all the fixings. Saturdays are for endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce and all the beef, chicken, or cheese enchiladas you can eat. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
hear me call out your name. You know that I'm falling and I don't know what to say. Speak a little louder, I'll even shout. You know that I'm proud and I can't get the words out. I wanna be with you everywhere.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
9-1 Florida State at the end of 4 innings. Not a very pretty start here to the Super Regionals. You do see some ugly games in the Super Regionals sometimes. You see some really wild final scores in that first game. It's like the first game that Arkansas beat NC State, and then their coach just kind of threw their slappies for the last 4 or 5 innings, and they saved their best pitchers for the next 2 days, and it worked out for them. So, losing that first game in the Super on the road is never really a 100% death sentence, even though it feels like it could be. 877-377-6963, calls and texts on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Being told by Jesse on the text line that Hagen Smith's season is irrelevant because of the last inning that he pitched and not making it to Omaha. I guess he's putting it more on a lack of a College World Series trip than on the last inning. He's putting it on team accomplishments, not the individual accomplishments, and I get that. They're still going to put the championship year for the division on the left field fence. I think Hagen Smith's season deserves to be celebrated, not focused on the last inning. It's like focusing on the drop in 2018. Well, it was the moment that stands out, but did that erase getting to Omaha? Did that erase all the things that team did in that season? No, it just ends up with a moment that you'd like to forget. And when you're a finalist for the Golden Spikes, when you are the SEC Pitcher of the Year, when you are going to be a top 5 overall pick, when you might be the National Pitcher of the Year, and you're certainly going to be a first-team All-American, that doesn't make your season irrelevant. It's a team's lack of making it to the last round. That does not make your season irrelevant. I wish that we would also think to ourselves the words that we choose for describing some of this as if to say, if you're in front of him or you're anywhere in earshot of him, are you going to say that was an irrelevant season? I don't think you would.
Maybe they don't know what irrelevant means.
Well, does that make Kevin Kopps's 2021 Golden Spikes Award season irrelevant?
All I know,
I think we are a prisoner of this program's success sometimes.
We are spoiled, no question about it. I'll tell you this: I enjoyed it. I think what Hagen Smith did should be enjoyed and appreciated. He was a joy to watch this year. I mean, honestly, I'd take another Hagen Smith. I'd selfishly tell Hagen Smith to come back and finish the job, but he's going to be drafted as a top 20 draft pick. What'd you say? He's not going to be there 9 to go to Pittsburgh?
He's going to be top 5.
Yeah,
I think he is.
He was a joy to watch. We were lucky to have him, and we'd take another one. I mean, nothing but love for Hagen Smith.
Let's see. Cleveland has the first pick. Cincinnati, the second pick, Colorado, Oakland, White Sox, Royals, Cardinals are the top 7. If he makes it, I hope he doesn't go to Oakland. I don't want to root for that. I really don't want to root for the Athletics. I can't stand what they're doing to the fans in Oakland, and I don't like the ownership. I don't want him to go to Oakland.
Not the White Sox either.
The White Sox, too. I mean, who knows? They may move from Chicago. Apparently Jerry Reinsdorf is all about getting a new ballpark or completely renovating.
Why would you want to leave Chicago, though?
I don't know.
That's just,
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't like him to go to either of those teams, to be quite honest. Goes to Cincinnati, fine, and pitch against my team at some point. Don't go to the Rockies. There is no such thing as a successful pitcher with the Rockies. I don't like some of these teams he could go to. Nobody wants to get drafted by the Rockies.
So
Literally,
Cardinals at
no
7?
pitcher.
Yeah.
No pitcher wants to get drafted by the Rockies. I don't know anybody that would want to get drafted by Oakland. The White Sox, look, I mean, at some point they might be good again. Oakland won't. Kansas City, now that's a franchise that'd be worth going with right now. They'll figure out their ballpark at some point. If he makes it to the Cardinals at 7, you Cardinal fans are lucky. I don't think that's going to happen.
And they don't allow draft day trades on in the MLB. So once they're slotted in, that's the team you're taking somebody.
Oh, more text coming in. Yeah, I mean everybody's opinion should be heard, and I agree. I mean that's totally fine. We're all totally allowed to have our opinions, but if you send the opinion here, then I guess I'll tell you what I think about it. So I enjoyed everything about watching Hagen. The thing that I hate about this is the same way that I looked at Kevin in 2021. And it's the last moment. It's the last moment. I mean, he was a hero for that team in 21. Starting the last game of the Super Regional against North Carolina State, pitched really, really well, but then they couldn't score enough runs for him. He gives up the home run in the 9th inning to Johnny Butler, and that's the last moment that you remember. And then it's Hagen Smith. I hope, while you remember the 6 runs that he allowed in the 5th inning, that you remember that he allowed a total of 9 runs in 82 innings for the year, or what was it, 13 runs in 82 innings for the year and 9 runs in 2 other innings. You can't erase them, his first and his last, because in between that, he had a truly special, dominant season, setting an NCAA record, by the way, for strikeouts per 9 innings. That's not a made-up statistic, by the way. That's a legitimate stat. You set a record for that, there's nothing that's irrelevant about it. So, and I'm hopefully not insulting anybody with an opinion here, but you do listen here for my opinion sometimes too. Hey, the best Tex-Mex, better service at Joe's Grilling Cantina. Every Friday is Fajita Friday. That is today. Features charbroiled steak and chicken. It's tender, full of flavor, and comes with all the extras. You get over to Joe's Grilling Cantina tomorrow. It's endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce. All the beef and chicken enchiladas that you can eat. It's at Joe's Grilling Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, better service. 3400 South 74th, right across from Harps in Fort Smith. joesfortsmith.com. for an order and to get a look at the menu. And we're back to wrap up hour number 2 right after this.
This is halftime.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel. 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
When it's time for breakfast, Calico County is making it all from scratch. Yet the dedicated early morning crew at Calico are cooking up and serving buttermilk pancakes, moist biscuits, rich waffles, country fried potatoes, 3 types of gravy, and of course their famous cinnamon rolls and much more. They serve all of this and a lot more 7 days a week until 11 a.m. Stop in, call ahead, or get it to go. Or just come by and pick up a dozen cinnamon rolls for the office. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, or catering, roll on into Calico County. They're home cooking good. Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue behind Randall Ford.
Warning, warning. Attention all homeowners. Hi, this is Justin at West Termite Pest and Lawn. It's definitely bug season, and we are priced to earn your business. Licensed in Arkansas and Oklahoma. Call today for a free evaluation. 479-782-7291. West Termite Pest and Lawn, protecting your home, health, and peace of mind.
All services performed with children and pets in mind.
Do you need gutters but think they're too expensive, or that you need to get the soffit or fascia ready? No worries. Call the Gutter Guy. He does it all. No need to call multiple companies to get the right gutters for your home. Call the Gutter Guy. Quality, low maintenance, leak-free gutters with a 5-year warranty. The Gutter Guy also does vinyl siding and windows. The Gutter Guy. Over 30 years experience. Call 226-1259. Call the Gutter Guy.
When it's time for breakfast, Calico County is making it all from scratch. Yet the dedicated early morning crew at Calico are cooking up and serving buttermilk pancakes, moist biscuits, rich waffles, country fried potatoes, 3 types of gravy, and of course their famous cinnamon rolls and much more. They serve all of this and a lot more 7 days a week until 11 a.m. Stop in, call ahead, or get it to go. Or just come by and pick up a dozen cinnamon rolls for the office. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, or catering, roll on into Calico County. They're home cooking good. Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue behind Randall Ford.
Are you an angler having Having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witz Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witz Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com. Gray Steel Structures Incorporated is a family-owned business based in Greenwood, specializing in steel structures. Owner Will Gray has 20 years' experience doing the job right and making sure you're satisfied with the structure you have a need for. Gray Steel Structures serves both commercial and residential customers. Whatever your need may be, mini storage, RV storage, home workshop, or any metal building need, make Gray Steel Structures your first call. Gray Steel Structures, 252-2783. That's 252-2783.
GraySteelStructuresInc.com. That's Gray with an A.
It's your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The bottle, mama, it's great. Take off your high heel sneakers. As long as they play till dawn, nothing but blues and Elvis and somebody else's name is on.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV.
Northwest Arkansas, so I appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Jay. The check is in the mail.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Hey, two things. I've lived here my whole life, 50 years, almost 50 years. Been a Razorback fan the whole time. I was at Omaha the last 3 times that you and the Hogs went there, and I was there, third baseline, third baseline, third row when we missed the pop fly. So I know all the feelings that you feel about this year, and I feel the same. But I hear people call in to some of these shows and even suggest or hint at getting rid of DVH. Those people are complete idiots, and they don't understand baseball, obviously, because
Jay, I really think that this is such a small amount of fans, and I think it's overblown. I really don't think I can't imagine that there's more than 5% of Razorback fans that might be saying this, but we just take it to heart. I can't really think a lot of people believe that.
Yeah, and they're probably just sitting in their bedroom or sitting in their living room on the message boards, just poking, I don't know. Anyways, so those people, I mean, they just need to be quiet and hope for next year, hopefully. So I've been disappointed with football and basketball and, with the coaches we hired and whatnot, and it's just, how can you even think, I guarantee these people couldn't name 2 coaches in the whole nation that are better than DVH, because I sure can't. But anyways, my question was, throughout the year, we played great. We did what we were supposed to do. We won series. And then comes the month of May, and I may be wrong, and tell me if I'm wrong, and I appreciate your opinion. The month of May, our pitching staff as a whole, we would have one good pitcher for a few innings in each game, but as a whole, the pitching staff just choked. And I love those kids, but they just choked. And I wonder if you had an opinion on maybe why, or what you've heard about.
I think it starts, Jay, with the idea that starting pitching took a step back. You went from a rotation of 3 strong to a rotation of 1. And that put way too much pressure on the bullpen and on relievers to eat up the innings that were left over. I mean, I think it was in the last 17 starts, they got 38 innings. Is it 38 innings from starting pitchers? That's just not enough. There's too many innings, too many pitches, too many batters faced for the relievers. And I think that ended up having a lot to do with why the team ERA, I think, was over 6 in the last 17 games. Just the team changed how they had to win ball games. They had to start out-slugging opponents. They weren't doing that. They were winning games based on pitching, defense, and just enough runs. And it turned out you needed 2 more runs a game to win. And they weren't going to just automatically turn into a really frightening lineup. But when you're built on starting pitching, and then 2 of the starters give you 3 innings or less, and then are out of the rotation, it's too much pressure on your relievers. We move into hour number 3 of Halftime, and Jay, really appreciate that phone call, and thank you for your comments. Golden Hour coming up next on Halftime.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. I want to talk about their pizza today. The Goob Special with extra pepperoni and rib rub on top. The Parm Special with double mushroom and jalapenos. Don't forget about the bacon cheeseburger and everyone's favorite, the old trash can. Swing on by Papa's Pub and Pizzeria at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith, or give them a call at 479-783-9941. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
This summer, take control of your outdoor space with a mosquito misting system from Mosquito Joe. It's the ultimate solution for mosquito-free living. Mosquito Joe installs cutting-edge misting systems discreetly around areas such as pools, patios, and boat docks to create a protective barrier that banishes those annoying bugs. The best part is, You don't have to do a thing. It's like having a mosquito control technician in your yard 24/7. Visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com.
Hello, this is Mike Giacomo at Arvest Bank, inviting you to join us in the fight against hunger during Arvest's 14th annual Million Meals campaign. All the money goes directly to our communities, and there is no amount too small. Even just $1 provides 5 meals to those in need. Now, through the end of the month, you can easily make a monetary contribution at your nearest Arvest branch. You can also donate online at arvest.com/millionmeals. And if you're an Arvest customer, you can go directly to Arvest Go mobile app. Arvest makes no representation that any contribution is tax deductible. Please consult your tax advisor.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon into the upper 80s. See an increase in the cloud cover tonight. Slight chance of showers and storms across the north. Overnight lows in the mid-60s. Slight chance of showers and storms across the north on Saturday. Otherwise, partly to mostly sunny. Highs upper 80s to low 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 83 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here. Got the perspective. If I'm all right. What can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Well, Matt Jones, man, take it to the house. The dunk.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
Even one Razorback. Is vintage Matt Jones. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Oh, it's good to be here for the golden hour, our last hour of the week. So we'll be talking with Stuart Norcell from Bet Saracen in about 15 minutes. Otherwise, we can leave the content up for you for the time being at 877-377-6963 on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Matt Jones, you're still looking pretty here with the last hour to go. You don't have to change your makeup that much, just a little touch up on the eyeliner. I think you'll be okay. It's just 60 minutes.
You ever wore eyeliner?
Not that you know of.
There's
I might have dressed in drag, not inadvertently, for a college prank about 25 years ago.
There you go. That's I
look good in fishnets.
They but when you're watching these when you watch when you watch the movies and stuff, they all have eyeliner on. Like they all got makeup on. It's
we're on camera.
I've never wore. I did that show. We did that. It was Clint Sterner and Baz. We did a year. We kind of did a football show down when I was in Little Rock, and I think they might pat your face with something, but I didn't. Yeah. I mean, and when you're sitting next to Basil, I mean, what are you going to do?
There's nothing you can do to look as good as that.
That's right.
Did you try some spray tan?
No, I just said put me on the opposite side. Put Clint next to him. Put me. Yeah.
Did you try to get like a bottle of whiteout and maybe paint your teeth with it?
There you go.
That works.
Yeah.
You get some ridges though. You get some lines on it when you try to whiten your teeth with whiteout. I'm not sure it's really designed for that. Don't try poi.
That was
bring
the year.
up the food that we had in the first hour.
Well,
Poi's not going to make your teeth any whiter.
I know somebody who did. That was the year Manti Te'o was at Notre Dame. That's the year we had that show, and he had his. When Alabama beat Notre Dame in the championship game, and Johnny Football won the Heisman that year. Yeah,
Te'o was up for college football. Well, I was going to say immortality. If you make the Hall of Fame, that means you're an immortal. He's already achieved college football immortality. Through nothing that happened on the field, as good of a linebacker as he was, he's already in everybody's Hall of Fame, just for something else.
Manti Te'o was a beast, man.
No kidding.
He was solid. I liked his game.
Did you see that? Have I ever talked cricket on this show before? Have I ever brought cricket up with you?
You have not, but I did see the.
It was a massive upset. Are we supposed to be celebrating? We're supposed to be waving the red, white, and blue and the stars and stripes and getting into cricket right now after a win over Pakistan yesterday. I don't think this is called the World Cup, is it? Is it a cricket World Cup, T20 World Cup?
I think it's a qualifier for something, but they won by a super over, so it was actually a tie game, and they had to go to like the. You start going down to next.
No, this is the World Cup. This is the thing.
This is the biggest thing.
This is actually calling this the biggest upset in cricket World Cup
Since
history.
Buster Douglas, yeah.
That makes Pakistan Mike Tyson. Hey, I know Pakistan loves cricket. India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, those countries that were essentially part of the British Empire. They're way into it. And so we have to get like a cricket guest at some point. What do you say? I have no idea who we would call. I do know there's a former independent league baseball park in Grand Prairie, Texas. Used to be called the Air Hogs. Grand Prairie, I think, is right there by Arlington. It's not that far from the Cowboy Stadium. Used to be an independent baseball park. It's now a cricket grounds. I don't know. I think they might be hosting some of the World Cup games there. So that's our World Cup portion that's our cricket portion of the year. About 2 minutes worth of it.
I did see that. That was that's pretty cool. I couldn't tell you one thing. I couldn't tell you one rule in cricket. Not one rule.
I know the pitcher's called a bowler. I know you're supposed to bounce the pitch. The ball is harder. They get a running start. And I've seen, like, if you really want to devolve yourself, like make your brain melt, go online, go onto Twitter. Well, just going onto Twitter is going to make your brain melt anyway right now. Go onto Twitter and look at the discourse between the cricket fans and the baseball fans trying to argue what's tougher to hit. The cricket guys get to bounce the pitch, and they get the running start. The baseball players don't get the running start, but they're not supposed to bounce the pitch. You know where I'm going with this.
I'm
and then
thinking
baseball will be a little tougher. The cricket, try to watch it. I have no clue what I'm watching.
Thinking it's easier to hit off the bounce. If you can see it bounce, I would think that would be a little easier. It kind of slows the ball. I'm sure you can put some funky spin on it and stuff, but I would think in the cricket, is it called a mallet?
I believe no, that would be. What is the bat called? Is it a mallet?
A wicket? I don't know, but it's a little white. It looks like my middle school principal's swatter that when you get. I don't think they do licks anymore in school, do they? You're not allowed to get swats.
Better not walk in with your cricket mallet.
Yeah, and they drill some holes in it, for
a little airflow for you. We have a cricket expert who is a friend of Bill in Fayetteville. He texted in, and he says he's got a social media friend who knows cricket. Said this about this match. Quote, "This is the equivalent of your local high school beating the Kansas City Chiefs," unquote. Thinks the odds on the match were 50,000 to 1. So this is can't be your local high school, right? It would be like the adult league team beating the New York Yankees. I saw somebody on Facebook posted some adult league guy throwing 100 miles an hour, and I'm like, yeah, give me that radar gun, pretty please. That's what they use. That's probably what they used at Damascus at the famous speed trap there. But 50,000 to 1 odds seems like it's something to be celebrated. But I truly don't know anybody that pays attention to cricket. Although we did have, when I grew up and I played baseball in my high school, we played, our home baseball field was the practice field for football. So really long left field, really long left center field. Nobody was hitting it out that way. There'd be guys playing cricket on deep left center field, like 700 feet away on the field while we're practicing baseball. And you'd end up like staring at them thinking, how did we maybe transform that game into the one that we're playing right here? Because I have a sense that I don't know if baseball came right from cricket. I think it came from town ball, but I think there's pieces of it that came from cricket too.
Well, the one thing I would like is you get to have Jeter gets to keep batting. If you got Jeter in the lineup, it's like, how about you bat again? You don't have to keep going through the lineup.
JT texted and he says it's officially summertime sports radio. Now we're talking cricket. No, this is the patriotic portion of the show. This is because America beat Pakistan in the World Cup of cricket. Like, I remember 1994 FIFA World Cup in the United States when the Americans beat Colombia. That was huge. I mean, it was the biggest upset, I think, of that World Cup. So much so that the guy from Colombia who scored the own goal that beat his team was murdered by his own fans when they got back to Colombia.
Long year for him.
Pakistani players might not want to return. Greg in Farmington is up with us on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Hi, Greg. How are you?
Hello, gentlemen. Hope everybody's having a great week. A couple of things I want to hit on, and then I got a song I got to sing you.
You have to get your songs. You have to get your songs passed by the passed by our judges and our censors. We have censors now.
Oh, we have censors now. Well, it's clean, so.
Okay.
But,
then you're clear.
You know, I'm not worried about the Mavericks. Mavericks are going to do what the Mavericks are going to do. I was really hoping when Brian from Ozark, I'm not an instigator or anything like that, but I was really hoping you would ask Brian who won the women's softball national championship yesterday and who they beat to win the women's softball national championship. And now, for my little song I'm going to sing you, America, heck yeah, kicking that Pakistani butt in cricket. Guys, have a good weekend. I'm out.
I'm not sure if that one would have made it past the censors or the director of the show. But if it's less than 10 seconds, I guess we'll let you get in a little bit.
Who's that? Will Forte? Is he the last guy that played McGruber? Was that they were doing the McGruber thing? Yeah, Will Forte's funny. You get a chance to watch it. You see him in something. Check it out.
So I have no idea who's next for the cricket team, for the American cricketers to play. Maybe I'll turn it on at some point because I got to have something to watch. And the Super Regionals may end up being, hey, it's 9-1 Florida State. This is UConn's chance. Bases loaded, 6th inning, 2 outs. This is their chance. And, you turn it off if they don't score 3 or 4. Yeah, right, because I'm just going to sit here for another 50 minutes talking sports with all of you and keeping this game on at the same time. Also thinking about the folks at Crabtree RV Center, helping out all those affected by the recent storms in northwest Arkansas and in northern Arkansas. If you've been affected, Crabtree RV Center is here to help you. Now, you might need to rent or purchase an RV while your home is under repairs. Reach out to Crabtree RV. Their service department can also help with any repairs needed to your existing RV. Whatever your needs are, Crabtree RV Center is here for you. For Northwest Arkansas and surrounding area residents affected by the storms, call Crabtree RV at 479-632-0829 or check out crabtreerv.com. We're back in a moment with Stuart Norcell from Bet Saracen on Halftime.
This is Halftime.
The Morning Rush with Tom.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for the NBA Finals and Stanley Cup playoffs this season. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. And when the game's over, head on over to the online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of their over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online. The game starts here.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line podcast network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pat Strait from Woodland. Read about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in DeQueen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric.
Monday night, the sky had opened. I saw the light. There was a window from where to see. We all sat waiting patiently.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
It's Neil who's with us. Neil Atkinson with us from BetSaracen, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app. When you want to put a little wager on your favorite sporting event, you got BetSaracen on your Apple iPhone, downloaded from the App Store, Google Play for Android users. You can go onto any desktop, laptop, and a web browser, BetSaracen.com. Hey, Neil, been a while. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm traveling a little bit today, and perfect timing. I came up on 5 bars, so I pulled off on the side of the road and said, I'm going to do the golden hour today because I miss it a little bit. So
very good. Well, it's good to hear your voice. Nice to have you here on the show. And man, just for the amount of bets that would be placed, independent of the idea that you'd like to see Arkansas playing in it. I just imagine that Arkansas getting knocked out of a regional means there's just not as many bets placed on the Super Regional this weekend, right?
Oh yeah, that's true. I was just comparing the numbers between last year and this year, and I was looking at the NBA, and I'm like, whoa, where am I missing the other numbers? And yeah, it's all about Arkansas. Yeah, we did not want to see them exit the regionals because we basically lost the potential of 2 more weekends of betting action, and for how much the fans are engaged with that team, it was really disappointing, for them to lose, and from a business perspective. But hey, football season's coming up and basketball season's coming up, and we'll get fired back up again this fall, and got a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, football season certainly is coming up, and I think it's 86 days or something close to that number, and you guys already have some odds up for college football. I'm looking at it here. A&M favored by 11.5. LSU favored by 9.5. They're not good-looking odds, but then again, I mean, we don't know what depth charts look like. All we know is what rosters potentially look like. I would think that if you were interested in utilizing the ability to sell your bets, the bet swap, you get in on these odds right now and then maybe sell when you're getting closer to the game.
Yeah, because, I mean, there's a lot of unanswered questions about what the offense is going to look like with Trino there and all of that. And who knows, we may have put a good team together, and maybe those lines are a lot lower when we come closer to the game time. But, it's all about having the content out there and putting the odds out. And on these bigger marquee matchups, the odds makers are a little bit more comfortable with doing it. Now, we're not going to take $1 million bet this early on it. The limits are going to be a little bit lower. And, of course, the limits go way higher as we get closer to the game. But, it's just interesting seeing college football already on the site, which is a good thing because that means it's closer to coming through. So can't wait. But we still got a little NBA, a little NHL, and a lot of baseball, regular ML baseball ahead of us. And, of course, there's still some good interest in the regionals and the World Series because there's still a bunch of SEC teams left in it. And, baseball fans are going to follow baseball. So we'll still have some action on it, but just not as much if we didn't as if we had the Hogs in there.
NBA game looked like it was over about 3 minutes into the second quarter yesterday. And, Dallas fought back, made it, I think it was an 8-point game at one point, but it just kind of couldn't get over the top. You got Boston favored -7.5, -275 on the money line for Sunday. And I'd imagine that there's still some local interest, too, with Gafford. And I don't think Jordan Walsh is going to get on the court very much, if at all, for Boston. But there is some local interest on both teams.
Yeah, there is. And we noticed we were a little heavier on the Dallas Mavericks. And I just think that's more of a regional, local bias type thing. Maybe people betting against Boston than betting for Dallas. But, before last night, I thought this series had a really, really good potential of going all 7 games. And, of course, it could. And of course, since the conference championships only went 4 games and 5 games, we missed out on some betting action there too. So I would like to see it go 7 games. But if Boston and Dallas play like they did last night, it may be over in 4. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. A lot of prop actions were done before this one too. So and a lot of people predicted it to go to 7 games. So we'll see how it all turns out. But yeah, I was surprised last night for how much of a blowout that it turned out to be. I think it went off at 6.5, and of course Game 2's now at 7.5. So there may be some betting opportunity there if you think the same thing's going to happen on Sunday that happened last night.
I feel like so much of this, you look at football, and the NFL season is 3 months away, and the college football season is still about 3 months away, but there's a lot of opportunities about what the next season will look like on Bet Sarazen. It's just like this one here I see on the NFL specials about the number of rookie quarterbacks to start week 1. That's a huge story going into this season with the 6 quarterbacks drafted in the first round, the first 12 or 13 picks. So and right now you can make a guess about it, but then some of this also is dependent upon who can win a job in August.
Yep.
And this was my whole point about the odds for the Razorback games is that, to me, that's what BetSwap was made for, is to put these lines out early and you get on them quickly, and then when the information comes to you and people are looking for better odds from what you're seeing, well, you've got them because you got first in on that, then you can sell it.
Yeah, and the key to that is sell it cheaper than what I'm selling it for on the site. We've seen a lot of people list some of these bets, and you can get a better deal just making the bet right there on your site. So if you want your bet to sell, price it to sell, just like you would on eBay. If you're gonna price something higher than retail, probably not too many people are gonna bite on that. So when you do that, build yourself a little profit in, but make a value for the person who's going to be buying the bet, because we have a lot of people that are going through and they are just scooping up because we've got the hot bets, which is a little flame on it, and you can see what bets are priced at a good value for you to purchase it. And a lot of people are starting to figure that out and pick up some nice little bets and some nice little wins. So we really do like BetSwap, especially with these futures. And hey, people love these parlays too. And if you're doing some parlays over a weekend and you get to the last game, like the Monday night game is your key game, and you've already hit 5 out of 6, you can still list that bet up there and guarantee you a profit if you price it right for somebody to scoop it up.
I wonder what you thought when the news came from the Major League Baseball office that Padres infielder Tucupita Marcano was banned for life from the sport because he gambled on the sport while he was on a Major League roster. I think there were 3 minor leaguers that were banned 1 year for gambling while they were in the minor leagues. And it's another example, and we've seen this over the last 2 years. You're not going to get away with it. You're just not going to get away with it. In this case, wasn't it the apps that reported Marcano to the commissioner's office?
Yes. And, we are using technologies with, they've recently changed their name from U.S. Integrity to IC365. What it is integrity and compliance. Well, actually it's 360, but integrity and compliance. So we here at Bet Saracen are utilizing that technology to be able to get alerts if somebody that is not supposed to be playing on an app, and you're breaking Arkansas law too, because if you are a player on a team, you are not supposed to be betting on those sports. So luckily we haven't come across for that here in Arkansas. We don't have a lot of pro teams here. And of course, if you're you got to be over 21 to be able to bet on our app. So we haven't seen very much of that here, but we are very, very diligent. Matter of fact, we just signed another integrity agreement with Sport Radar, which is one of the major data providers on the integrity, that we will share information with them on an elevated level, especially since we're going to continue to do college props here in Arkansas. So integrity is very, very important to us, because one is that if you're betting on these games, you got to have confidence that nothing funny's going on. And plus, the fans, they don't want outside things influencing the outcome of the game. They want to watch their sport, and whether or not they bet on it or not, they want a pure, good, clean competition, because that's what it's all about. Because sports is entertainment, and sports betting is a part of that. It's not new, just the legalized, regulated sports betting. It's not so new anymore. It's not since 2018, but we're getting better and better each day of being able to connect the dots, per se, if we have any eyebrow raisers or anything that doesn't look right. And with AI and the software and the machine learning, boy, we're getting pretty good at identifying it.
Neil, let's leave it there. I appreciate you pulling over and calling us. It's good to talk to you again, and we'll look forward to doing it over the summer, over the next few weeks.
Absolutely. And as always, when you're out there betting, bet with your head and not over it. Use the limits that we have on the sites to make sure to keep it fun and entertaining. And good luck on all your parlays this weekend. There's a lot of opportunity out there, a lot of summer sports going on. And like I said, keep it fun and entertaining, and good luck.
Neil, travel safe. We appreciate your time. That's Neil Atkinson, Bet Saracen, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app. Again, it's on the Apple App Store, Google Play for Android users, any web browser as well, betsaracen.com. Back to get into the home stretch of halftime. We'll take your calls and texts on the McLarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963, and we are right back.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Celebrate freedom in a new RV from Camping World in Van Buren, Arkansas. For a limited time, get into a new RV starting at just $104 per month and see America for less. As part of America's #1 RV network, we've got an RV for every lifestyle and a payment for every budget. Buy with confidence at Camping World, knowing every RV comes with a 3-year Good Sam Elite membership and access to our nationwide service network. Make sure your next summer adventure is the best one yet. Click, call, or visit Camping World in Van Buren today. Certain restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
At Arvest Bank, we believe in the power of serving others. That's why we're committed to working with and supporting those who serve our communities. From the ones who are making a difference in big and small ways every day, to those who are helping create better tomorrows. We appreciate everything you do, and we're proud to work alongside you. Because every community deserves a financial partner who cares. Arvest Bank. We believe.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
We're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Barrels and Brews Bottle Shop at the Hub in Chaffee Crossing has everything you need for your favorite activities. Our knowledgeable staff will be glad to help you with the current specials and our new arrivals of must-have bourbons and whiskeys. Hit the cooler for some of the coldest beer in town, or choose from our large selection of amazing wines. Order online or call ahead Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. at the Hub in Chaffee Crossing. Barrels and Brews, voted best of the best in Fort Smith. It will put a smile on your face.
The Lynx at Chaffee Crossing prides itself in providing award-winning barbecue. Whether you're craving ribs, pork, brisket, or chicken, we can satisfy any appetite. Stop in and watch Razorback Baseball and enjoy everyday food and drink specials like $2 domestic beer or $3 premiums. The Lynx at Chaffee Crossing is here and ready to serve you the best barbecue in the River Valley. The Lynx at Chaffee Crossing, next to Deer Trails Golf Course. Come see us.
Come get you some. 2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches, and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come Get You Some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the States. They do it all, from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at cgysoffroad.com. Come get you some.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Well, show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. Show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. But if we don't find the next whiskey bar, I tell you we must die. I tell you we must die. I tell you we must die.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Reading through the McClarty Daniel texts here. Matt, Cody, and Lavaca want your thoughts on the earpiece in the quarterback's helmet this year. Says, does that help or does that hurt? Can't imagine it hurts.
It should clear up a picture for you. You know, if Petrino's up top in the booth and you're looking at, a lot of times when you have plays called, there's option routes on it, but sometime the left side of the field will be a man beater, the right side will be a zone beater. There's just different ways to go about it. So you're able to, and he's able to just kind of walk you through it. So yeah, that'd be. I wondered the defense though, who's going to get the radio headset, and when does it click off? Is it at 25 seconds or is it 15 seconds? But it would behoove you to line up and get lined up and see what the defense is doing so you can communicate. Now you can't communicate back, but the coach can always tell you, hey, the safety's outside the numbers. This tells you what it's covered to. Just so it's a clear up picture so you're able to play faster.
I wonder too if that malfunctions ever. There were a bunch of times. I think it happened more by the end of the season where with the baseball team, not Arkansas. It happened a couple times with Arkansas, but it happened like some opponents too, where the pitch comm wouldn't work in the catcher's ear, and they had to switch it out. So I'm assuming it's got to be a different kind of technology. It's just a radio. They're not pushing a button and then you hear a voice. But hopefully those things don't poop out on you.
When in Jacksonville, the quarterbacks had 2 to 3 helmets. So you'll have your helmet, but then you have another helmet that's game ready. Like it's and it has the same type of, useful to it. So if you get hit and the radio goes out, they got another one that's ready to go right away.
Would you like an off switch to that thing? I know it turned off in 15 seconds. But would you like as a quarterback the power to maybe switch it off after 9 seconds? Be like, I've heard enough. I don't need it anymore.
You want all the information you can get. You want to dissect. You want the latest, clearest picture you can get, because every play there's a problem and a solution. The defense is showing you a problem and the offense has a solution. And a lot of times there's option routes on there. It's not just, hey, you're going to run a slant. It's, well, if you have this type of leverage and if you have this, you're going to run a slant. Now, if you get this, you're going to run a totally different route.
Yeah, it's an extra set of eyes and 15 seconds to use those eyes. Be all right. I would think maybe you want to play like Luke Skywalker attacking the Death Star in Star Wars by the end, and it's a one-way communications. You can't talk to him, right? He's just talking to you.
He's just
you can't usually say to him, "I'm red 5, I'm going in." That's what I'd want to do.
Usually, that's how this quarterback Bobby Petrino relationship works.
One way.
It's a one-way communication.
It's a one-way radio, exactly. He does not need the two-way, and do not turn that off because he'll know when it's off. He'll feel it. He'll have that Darth Vader force feeling.
But see, my thing is there's so many people that are smarter than me, and you talk about Michigan last year when their guys sending people to spy on them. How easy is it to click on somebody's Wi-Fi and be picking up the same transmission that they're getting, the same thing I think there's going to be some of that involved. How do you protect yourself?
There's always some way to spy on somebody.
Yeah, they're going to be listening to the same thing. So how that's going to be tricky.
So we're not going to have sign stealing scandals. We'll have radio signal stealing scandals. People accused TCU of that from the regional the year before because they couldn't imagine. It's like they hit the ball like they knew it was coming. Well, they kind of did that to a few teams too. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts. Chris asked, will the quarterbacks be mic'd up like in the NFL? I don't think so. I think this is one-way communication specifically. That's it. Yeah, JT says be prepared with extra helmets. I'm sure they got extra helmets. I've walked past the helmets, and I think they got more than one for each of these guys. Jamie asking about a snap count as a tool more often, keeping the defense on their heels if used properly. Why not use a snap count, Matt?
Yeah, a lot of times you see they're playing out of the gun, Phil, and they're doing this slap where you're slapping your hands, and it's almost a nonverbal. I mean, it's. I
saw a lot of teams when I watched the Steelers this year. It would be the right guard would put his left arm out, almost like
a trigger.
A weird
it's an indicator.
Salute.
It's take a second, take a pause, and get ready to go. And then you have your hurry up if the play clock's on 3, and it's just we got to get it going. But yeah, I don't know how much when the quarterback's back from the center an extra 5 yards, and then you're in some of these SEC environments. It's hard. I mean, you kind of got to go on a silent snap, or when we all know he's pausing.
Something visual.
Exactly. It's not that, but when you're at home, you're able to use your cadence a little bit more.
or at least able to put your hands out and make the signal, the universal signal for quiet down. Which, by the way, I think that's the only signal that when a quarterback puts his hands out and tries to tamp down the sound. Nobody else in the world uses that hand signal for be quiet. Because if a quarterback, we all go, put the finger in front of the mouth, shh, like that. You do that, nobody knows what you're doing if you put your hand up to your mouth like that in football. They can't see it.
Man,
I think football's the only one where quiet down is like you're flapping like a bird.
Yeah, you get in the red zone. Man, that Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium should be an advantage, especially that south end, man. You get in the red zone. Let's get it going, fans. I mean, it's Bud Walton's got that atmosphere. We got to give them. We got to give the fans something to cheer about and scream about and get some atmosphere going, because last year was kind of weak.
And I don't even know how much longer it's going to be Reynolds Razorback Stadium. Naming rights are up. I think and I have no inside info. It's just they got to try to sell this. You have to. This will be a major source of income for an athletic department, just like everybody else. They're going to be paying the players something along the lines of $20 to $30 million a year. You think that the signing of a naming rights for the football stadium isn't going to be a major aspect of that? Heck yes, it is. You're going to put the sponsor logo on the field. You're going to have a sponsor name on the stadium, and we're just going to have to like it, because that's what it's like in college sports now. Rod on I-40 has called us on the McLarty Daniel hotline. Hi, Rod. It's good to hear from you. How are the roads today?
Nice and warm.
Yeah, not getting cold anytime soon either.
Yeah, I got AC though. That's good. Yeah, I was wondering how long before they started hacking the signals, and if you found out they were hacking the signal, would you simply use that to misdirect the play?
See, there's always a way to thwart the thief somehow. See? I don't know. I don't know how you tap into these kind of signals. I really don't. Or how you protect these sort of signals. But that's got to be the next thing people are trying to steal.
I bet that guy from Michigan knows how to do it.
Well, you got AI. You could probably use that.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if that helps gather, information from a radio signal that's invisible, or if it's just a way to fake people out into thinking that you are somebody who you are not.
I'd probably accidentally blow up the quarterback's headset.
Just get as close as you can.
Anyway, that's all I got, guys.
You can eavesdrop a little bit. Thanks, Rod. See, what this ends up doing is, now I think that the earpiece has much more to do with just facilitating proper communication that makes sense. There was no sense to having all of these cards and the not the hand signals. It was all of the big flash cards that they put up there. There wasn't any sense to doing that. But what this does is it just opens up a new level of paranoia. It's a whole new level of paranoia. We experienced it at the regional last year. We got texts the whole week after Arkansas lost that second time to TCU that they thought that TCU was stealing signs somehow, that they tapped into the center field camera somehow, that they were getting in on the earpiece somehow. They just couldn't believe that they jumped on Arkansas pitchers the way that they did. But that ends up doing is it just creates a whole new level of paranoia, which I guess that's partially what sports are about. The coaches are paranoid about information getting out to their next opponents, whether it's about who's available or who's hurt or what your plays look like. And so there's got to be a counterbalance to that, counterintelligence. So if you think somebody's stealing your signals, give them the wrong signals. I'm not sure if it's quite as easy as that sounds. Joe in Prairie Grove, just pig Latin into the helmet. That's about right. You could really mess with somebody if you dropped a B between every vowel while Bobby Petrino is talking to Taylor Green this next year. They would think Petrino went off his rocker for somehow. And, hey, it would take their focus off of what they're trying to do, which is stop Arkansas from scoring points. This is more of a text that makes sense to me as far as the golden hour is concerned. JT wants to know, who is the real king of the 80s? Kenny Loggins or Phil Collins?
Huey Lewis.
I say I'd be right. Huey Lewis deserves to be in there. Michael Jackson, George Michael,
Prince.
Today, Prince's birthday.
Prince's birthday today. Yeah, the late great Prince, 2016, Minnesota's finest. Talk about purple. There's another.
That's a purple I can root for.
Yeah, it's a symbol I can get behind.
he would be 60. I think he would be 65 years old today. 65 years old. If he was still alive, he would still look like he's in his 40s.
I mean, oh my goodness, right?
And he would still be shredding. Cecil's here with us on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Cecil, good to hear from you. What's up?
Okay, fellas. Y'all saw it last night, and they covered that 6.5. But
he didn't care who won. It's who covered.
No, I'm just saying. I ride with Las Vegas. Vegas wins. Vegas never loses. That's just the way it is. So they went up 1 point for the next game. But guess what? Dallas wins. So if y'all want to be crazy and give up 7.5 and take Boston, y'all can. But if a smart person would ride with Dallas in the points this time, because it's all about the Vegas though. It's all about the Vegas.
To Matt's point earlier, it's more about the adjustments that the Mavericks are about to make, and they have 2 days to do it. And
Kyrie Irving's going to shoot better than what he did. Kyrie Irving did not play his best game.
They didn't play good at all. But the next game, Dallas will win. Matter of fact, Dallas going to win the championship. Boston just had to get that out, and they was hyped up. And Porzingis will never have another game. I guarantee you, if you look in the books, that is the best shooting percentage and everything Porzingis ever done in his whole career of basketball.
He didn't get sped up at all. 20 minutes, and they were very easy minutes. Like they didn't try to kick him in the calf one time. They didn't try to put him in. He was very easy. It was real easy on him.
Yeah, no fatigue. He just came out with his burners on. But that's over with. So anybody smart would ride with Dallas from now on out. And Phil, guess what?
Yes.
Phil.
Yes.
You can book that one too, buddy. Y'all have a blessed day.
Thank you very much. I don't know why you had to tell me that specifically. I didn't have an opinion on this one. I don't know who's going to win this series.
When I saw Pep Guardiola, the head coach for Man City, showed up in Boston gear, and when I found out Drake put a bet on the Mavericks, I knew exactly which way this is going. That's the tea leaves. If Drake's riding with the Mavs, I'm sorry, see Drake, but that's a Boston win. And then when
what
the
if he
best
rides with Arkansas,
there's not room for Drake on Arkansas. Yeah, he needs to go back to Canada.
Kristen Springdale thought that you deserve a homework assignment, C Maverick, but I'm going to tell you what. Your homework assignment is to just not go crazy the next 2 days before tip-off on Sunday. You got nothing else to worry about, okay? Unless you want some kind of an assignment to take your mind off of it, and I can figure something out in the next 3 or 4 minutes. Have you listened to enough Prince in your life?
I have listened to some Prince, some Purple Rain, some Red Corvette. You know, there's a couple more I could name.
When Doves
Have you
Cry.
seen the movie Purple Rain?
When Doves Cry, yeah. No.
Now that might be. I did say I wasn't going to assign him something, but. Do you want to? This is up to you, C Maverick. It's your team. It's your psyche.
They don't play till Sunday night.
You need something.
I think I'll be okay. I think I'll need the distraction a little bit.
Okay, you need to. So what you need to do is you need to listen to Prince's. I think it's his first couple of albums. Everybody talks about Purple Rain. Listen to the first one titled Prince. Listen to the second one titled 1999, and then listen to the third one titled Controversy. This is the stuff where you realize. My uncle used to tell me lives in Boston. I'll try to say it like he did. Prince is I can't do the Boston accent, but he would say his name's Mark, so we call him Mac. Prince is the closest human being that has ever come to being an alien. That was his opinion, and I think those first 3 albums will kind of dictate that.
And Sign of the Times as well. That's if you want to throw those on there.
You don't need to watch the movie Purple Rain, but Apollonia is kind of worth the price of admission no matter what. 877-377-6963 to get with us on Halftime In. On our final segment, we'll wrap things up right after this.
This is Halftime.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for my friends at Eastside Liquor. Do you need some seltzers for the lake and pool this summer? Find new High Noon Tequila seltzers and pool packs of vodka seltzers at Eastside Liquor. Are you looking to class up your next party? Try the new Dickel Single Barrel, aged 17 years and available exclusively at Eastside Liquor. Come on by and see Dave and his team at 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. And don't forget about the convenient drive-thru. Take care of all your alcohol needs this summer at Eastside Liquor.
Have you tried the TGI Friday weekday deals? On Monday, they have 50-cent wings, traditional or boneless, 10-piece minimum. Tuesday, cheeseburgers and fries with a fountain drink for $10. On Wednesday, Cajun shrimp and chicken pasta for only $12. On Thursday, enjoy a half a rack of ribs for only $12. Stop by and check out the weekday deals at TGI Fridays, I-540 at Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. In here, it's always Friday.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel, 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
The Solid Rock has been locally owned for over 46 years. When was the last time you were there? So much more than a bookstore. They have Christian t-shirts, church supplies, Bible studies, devotionals, home decor, gifts, and of course, a large selection of Bibles. And Bibles are engraved free of charge while you wait. Now, you can get custom laser engraving on select gift items and some Bibles. Located next to Sam's Club on South 74th, the Solid Rock is your source for faith-based books, music, clothing, and more. Don't forget to shop for Father's Day at the Solid Rock.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westart Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westart Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Body, baby, from dusk to dawn. You don't need experience to turn out. You just leave it all up to me. I'll show you what it's all about. You don't have to be rich to be my girl. You don't have to be big to rule my world. Ain't no particular sign I'm not compatible with. I just want your extra time and your kiss.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Don't kiss anybody until you've had your teeth checked at Riley Farm Dental, the entrance to Riley Farm, providing every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer, giving all their patients better lives, better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. General dentistry, braces, implants, cosmetics, and same-day crowns available at Riley Farm Dental. Find them at the entrance to Riley Farm off Highway 71 in Fort Smith, 226-3500, or RileyFarmDental.com. I like the Prince version of Kiss is better than the Tom Jones version, but I thought we'd get the Tom Jones version out there instead. Worked for me. All right, let's see. See Maverick, big game coming up for you on Sunday. I don't have a rooting interest one way or the other, so I'll just root to extend the series a little bit. So I guess I'm going to root for Dallas on Sunday. We'll see what happens in game 2.
I feel better.
I think listening to Prince is going to get you feeling good about the game.
I feel better about game 2 because I know it probably won't be that lopsided again, and Dallas will actually be in the game most of the game, and it'll probably come down to the end again. And like Matt said earlier, Kyrie can't go 6 for 19 again.
He'll play better. What about UConn game 2? They're down 15-1 in the 7th. They're done.
I don't know enough about their pitching to know whether or not they've got what it takes to come back from this in Florida State. We saw NC State do it against the Razorbacks. I don't think UConn is that NC State team. I don't know enough about them. I do know that they have I think 8 or 9 Division III transfers on that team, which will show you. I mean, you can find talent in almost anywhere in this crazy game of baseball.
The glass slipper doesn't fit anymore, is what you're saying, huh?
It's tough. It's tough to be a Northeastern team. I think it's pretty tough to pull something like that off. And then the rest of the supers are stuff we don't have. This is still the only game that's on right now. Evansville and Tennessee in about 5 minutes. West Virginia and North Carolina in about 3 hours, and then K-State and Virginia at 6 o'clock. So we'll see how much of that I could stomach. We had some listeners text in, so they turned the thing off after a couple of minutes because they just couldn't take it.
How do you know, what's the bracket like? Do they already have the bracket down for what's going to be like in Omaha, which who Florida State, the winner of who they would play in their first round game?
Yeah,
or do they do that afterwards?
I'll pull it up for you.
Well, we got time. I mean, as far as next week, I was just, if Florida State goes by, do they know who they're going to play? Is it already?
Yeah, you would. I mean, it would be Florida State, UConn plays either Tennessee or Evansville. Virginia, K-State plays either North Carolina or West Virginia. A&M, Oregon plays either Clemson or Florida. Georgia, North Carolina State against either Kentucky or Oregon State.
Okay.
That's how it would shake out.
Okay.
So we'll see how it's all coming because we'll have most of these things will be completed by the time we get back here on Monday. Matt, I hope you have a great weekend. Thanks for filling in and taking over the show for 2 days this week.
Yep.
That was a big deal for me. I really appreciated that. See Maverick be thinking about you all weekend too. Well, my tip off on Sunday, I'll think about you. I want to take my whole weekend doing that. For Matt Jones, for the C Maverick, I'm Phil. We appreciate your calls, your texts, and for listening. That's halftime. Now get up, get out, and get better.
The